SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Rangers can end the Rays season with a win in Game 2 of their American League Wild Card Series against the Rays today. Texas has gotten on the board first. Adolis Garcia, a solo shot off Zach Eflin. Texas up 1-0 on Tampa, top 4. NBA James Harden practiced with the 76ers today. He missed media day in the first training camp practice as he continues to push for a trade to the Clippers. Harden might be in Philly for a while, explains ESPN NBA insider Adrian Wojnarowski.
Both the Sixers and the Clippers, their need for James Harden isn't necessarily over 82 games. It's to have him ready to go for the playoffs. Certainly, he helps you get through the regular season. He helps you get a better seed. But this is not a trade that has to happen in the short term.
NFL cornerback J.C. Jackson heading back to where his NFL career began. The Chargers trading him to the Patriots for a late-round 2025 draft pick. He hasn't played down for L.A. the last couple of weeks. Broncos release linebacker Randy Gregory. He becomes a free agent.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman. Coming up Thursday, I'll give you my biggest takeaways from the second day of the baseball playoffs. It's on Sportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us, AFR, presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
And Mr. Toby Tumplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's hump day. Hey, a little early on the draw. Woo! Let's hump, everybody.
It's hump day.
Russ Mitchell, hour 3.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
How do you think Russ is going to react to the Ole Miss loss?
Hump day.
Usually texts me on Wednesday.
It's hump day.
Says, topics, question mark.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
I sent him the final score of the game on Saturday.
Hump day.
He replied with, topics.
It's hump day.
I replied, just do what you do, talking about that game.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
He said, now I feel better.
Hump day.
I imagine that's going to be interesting.
It's hump day.
To say the very least.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We're heading up to New England in 1 hour.
Hump day.
Joe Murr.
It's hump day.
3.
Murray, prison.
Oh! Are we going there?
Hump day.
I think we kind of have to.
I don't think we have to, but we can.
Then let's.
Okay.
It's hump day.
Shea Dixon in 15 minutes.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Urban Dictionary in an hour.
Hump day.
Later this hour, I mean.
It's hump day.
All right, let's get going. We got a lot to do. Taylor Calandro will be here. NCAA's made some changes to the transfer portal. We'll talk about all that. Shea Dixon, as I mentioned. Well, actually, about 12 minutes from right now. Let's begin, though, as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
All right, Saints are heading up to New England this weekend, and we knew that the Saints parted ways with Terrell Lewis, former Alabama Crimson Tide, outside linebacker, edge rusher, and it was a guy that had been on the practice squad. The Saints parted ways with him on Tuesday, and so there was going to be a corresponding move with the Saints adding a player. And we found out today, I think Nick Underhill had it first. He's on Twitter at Nick_Underhill. Of course, you give him a follow. Saints signed former first-round pick offensive lineman Cam Erving to the practice squad. So Cam Erving joins the practice squad for the New Orleans Saints. And you might be sitting there going, Matt, do we really care? A backup practice squad offensive lineman? I actually am intrigued here, and I'll tell you why. Several things. Number one, if you know Cam Erving's history, this makes a little more sense. So let me just sort of spell this out for you a bit. So Cameron Erving from Georgia was a huge recruit coming out of high school, went to Florida State, started at defensive tackle and moved to the offensive line. He became the starting left tackle at Florida State, where he started 48 games at left tackle. 42 consecutive starts at left tackle. He was the left tackle protecting E.J. Manuel's blind side when E.J. Manuel became a first-round pick, and then was still the left tackle when Jameis Winston was the starting quarterback at Florida State, won the Heisman Trophy, then won a national championship. So a very accomplished left tackle in college. Cameron Erving became the 19th overall pick of the Cleveland Browns. And yes, Cleveland did to Cameron Erving what they've done to many former first-round picks in the 2015 NFL Draft. Their longtime center, Alex Mack, left in free agency, so they moved Cameron Erving to center. A guy who was a left tackle. They had played him at guard. They moved him to center, and then he had some injury issues and ultimately is traded to the Kansas City Chiefs. The really good news is that when Cam Erving was in Kansas City, he became a starter there and was part of their Super Bowl team that beat the 49ers. So he's a guy that played tackle, guard, and center, was drafted in the first round, was a physical freak. I mean, he's won at every level, was a national championship at Florida State. He's won a Super Bowl with the Kansas City Chiefs. He has played, as I mentioned, tackle, guard, and center. And the reason I think that's very relevant, and oh, by the way, he also played for the Cowboys, and then last year was with the Carolina Panthers in 2021 and 2022. So he went to Carolina in March of 2021 and was there for 2 seasons. Didn't make the team this year, so was a free agent. There's a lot to like about this player. Tons of experience, former first-round pick, physical freak show. Of course, he's up in age a little bit now at 31 years old, which sounds silly to say, but as we all understand in NFL terms, if you're a 31-year-old lineman, you're getting a little long in the tooth. But think about the New Orleans Saints offensive line. You've played 4 games, and in 2 of your 4 games, you've had an offensive lineman exit with injury. Against Green Bay, Cesar Ruiz left with a concussion. And so what did you have to do? Andrus Peat goes in at left guard. Hurst moves from left guard to right guard to replace Ruiz. So Ruiz goes out, and you had to do this shuffle affecting both sides of your line. Well, last Sunday, Andrus Peat goes out with a concussion. So what happens? You have to put in Max Garcia, who goes in at right guard, moving Hurst back to left guard, who had been in for Ruiz at right guard. My point is, you've lost 2 offensive, in 2 of your 4 games, you've had an offensive lineman injured, which is, he's had to come out of the game. And it's caused this weird shuffle affecting not just the position where the starter came out, but both sides of the line of scrimmage. One of the things that and obviously with Ruiz out, as your backup center, is Cesar Ruiz. So Max Garcia can also play center. So bringing in Cameron Erving, you've got a guy that's played all 3 positions in the NFL and has played on both sides of the line. Given the issues you've had with injury and how it's affected your line, you need a versatile piece. Now, I'm not suggesting that Cameron Erving is going to come in on Wednesday and be active on Sunday. He might, could, but given the issues that you've had with the offensive line this year, I don't hate it, and it's also a guy who spent the last 2 years in your division in Carolina, so you're very familiar with the player because you've seen him on tape 4 times, twice each of the last 2 seasons. So there's a lot of reasons to like bringing in Cam Erving. And on top of that, you're bringing him into an offensive line that really struggled early, but has kind of found itself a little bit the last 2 weeks. You've not been great, but the pressures and the sack numbers have come way down. And a big part of that also, y'all, is Trevor Penning. And as much as we can criticize a lot with that offense, and I have, and I think everybody has, and rightfully so, you scored 9 points. In 2023, you didn't get into the end zone in a home game. But Trevor Penning kind of quietly the last couple of weeks has played very well. That first week, it was a disaster. Arden Key ate him for lunch. He gave up 6 pressures and 2 sacks against the Titans. Week 2 at Carolina on Monday Night Football gives up 4 pressures and a sack. The last 2 weeks, he's not allowed a sack and allowed a total of 3 pressures. 1 pressure, no sacks against Green Bay. And last week against Tampa, 2 pressures and no sacks. So it's getting better for Trevor Penning, which is really good to see, because we were having the conversation at the start of the season after that Tennessee game. Like, I get why you're putting the guy there because you drafted him to be your left tackle, but maybe you have to realize that after being injured last year and struggling late in the season when he was sort of tackle eligible, and then the issues early this season, maybe it's just not going to happen for him as a left tackle in the NFL. Well, they stuck with it, and he's starting to develop and get more comfortable, and he's been really good the past couple of weeks. Let me rephrase. He's been much better the last couple of weeks. I don't think they're starting to carve his bust for Canton or anything, but he's been better. He's been certainly a good left tackle the past couple of weeks, which is good to see. Now you're going to New England, and listen, Ruiz is likely coming back for this game. You got your original starting 5 back out there, which is certainly good. The Patriots' run defense is good. They're 10th in the NFL, and they're 19th in sacks, but they've got 10 on the season through 2 weeks. And remember, Matthew Judon, their best edge rusher, 15.5 sacks a year ago, he's out for the season. So their best defensive, they lose their best defensive player. You're healthy on the offensive line. You've supplemented here with Cam Erving. We'll see if he plays this week. Trevor Penning's playing better. That matchup on the line of scrimmage with the Saints' offensive line against the Patriots' defensive front might be one that's shifting a little bit toward New Orleans, and will be interesting to watch Sunday at noon when the Saints take on the Patriots. Okay, we are going to go up to New England to start hour number 2. Joe Murray, who covers the Patriots, is going to be with us. We'll check in on the New England Patriots and how preparation is going. Our show open every day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy in Louisiana. I'll keep reminding you, coming up on Thursday the 19th, that's Thursday Night Football, Saints hosting Jacksonville. Our friends over at Mockler are going to be hosting an AFR game watch party. Very excited about it. If you want to enter, it's totally free to enter. All you have to do is text hashtag AFR watch party. Again, text hashtag AFR watch party, and you're entered to win. You only enter once, but you're entered to win. We'll announce the winner the Friday before the game. Of course, the game will be on Thursday the 19th. We'll announce it the Friday before, so next Friday we'll announce our winner. It's you and 15 guests. Catered food, open bar. Mockler is going to take care of your transportation as well. And we're going to watch. We'll be there at the Slattery at Mockler, which is an awesome bar on premise. So it's going to be so much fun. We'll look forward to it. We'll watch the game. We'll hang out. Muse is coming. Paulie might come. We don't know yet. Maybe I'll get Gordy Rush. Christian Lockacher, who works at Mockler, says he'll be there as well. So really looking forward to it. Our AFR watch party coming up for Thursday Night Football with the Saints and the Jags. All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. Our buddy Shea Dixon is going to join us. A lot to talk about in recruiting. Of course, the LSU recruiting class and how they fix some of their roster issues, but also some changes today to a lot of recruiting rules and transfer portal and stuff. We'll get Shea's reaction to that as we continue on AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. And y'all, I was chatting with Miss Teresa earlier, actually yesterday. Man, if you want a fall display that will make your home the envy of everyone in your neighborhood, Clegg's can help. The only thing they're low on right now is hay bales, but everything else. They just got another shipment of pumpkins and gourds, so the selection is fantastic. If you want to decorate your outdoor space, if you want to decorate your front porch, your back patio, maybe even inside, an office building or your home, Clegg's can help. Amazing selection of fall bedding plants as well. There's 4 Clegg's Nursery locations across Greater Baton Rouge area: Seagan near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Make your home this fall the envy of everyone in your neighborhood. Let our friends at Clegg's Nursery help. Buy local, shop local. Tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP or 2.9% for 72 months on all new 23 Ram 1500 trucks in stock. All with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
The NCAA made a few changes to the recruiting calendar today. Shea Dixon, our buddy from On3, the Bengal Tiger, good enough to jump board with us here. How are you, Shady?
I'm doing well. How are you? Long time no see or talk or whatever it is.
Shea and I co-host Sports Takeover with Michael Cobble. You can see it every Tuesday on WBRZ Extra or all their social platforms there as well. Hey, so most significant thing that happened today with regard to the recruiting calendar and some of the rules? Hey, Shea, you got me?
Hey, yep, I got you. I think you dropped out there for a
Sorry
second.
about that. So what would you say is the most significant thing that happened today with the recruiting calendar and the rule changes?
Well, obviously, I think what is most notable is transfer portal window to the common folks, because that's been the dominant discussion of each offseason. Coaches have complained that a 45-day window and a 60 total day window was too long, especially when 45 days that ran from Selection Sunday, all the way through bowl season, where you're trying to sign a high school class, you're trying to put together bowl preparations or perhaps playoff preparations or conference championship, all that. And now you're tossing, hey, you need to entertain transfers into that. And you also have to keep kids from your team from entering the portal that you don't want to enter the portal. So they shortened that window down to just 30 days. They're keeping that 15-day window in the spring after spring practices, which really just lets everybody who goes through spring ball and says, hey, I gave it a go. I may still be behind on the depth chart. Now it is a good time for me to transfer. They've got an option there. So I like the shortened windows, but for me, by far, the biggest news, it's going to have the biggest implication on football staffs and football personnel departments is not allowing unofficial visitors to do photo shoots and video shoots anymore, which I thought was one of the most ridiculous things that they allowed happen. And year after year, On3 hosts kind of a symposium of all these personnel directors, or helps host one in Nashville. I shouldn't say they host it, but take part in it. And every year, and I hear this from coaches all the time, all these personnel people get up there and say, well, the only reason we do it on unofficial visits, and I'm pointing at you, Georgia, or you, Bama, is because you do it. And Georgia and Bama point back and say, well, the only reason we do it is because y'all do it. And, well, if none of us, if we all just agreed not to do it, then we'd be great, right? And then the kids would still say, no, I want it. And I don't think people realize the manpower that goes into this. Now, when you see kids and they're in the, combination of LSU uniforms that will never be worn, on their photo shoots, and they're having a blast.
Right.
That's typically reserved until recent years for official visitors. So you do that on your official visit weekend. It makes it part of the special experience. Now, anybody can do it on any unofficial visit. And for a lot of coaches, they say, well, if they're coming with 4 high school teammates, we're really only recruiting one of them. It's kind of rude not to let everyone have one. So now everyone's getting a video shoot, and then the amount of staffers, student workers, photographers, videographers that have to be there, then go cut it all up and send it to the kids for them to rarely ever even put out or maybe post a picture or two. It was just so ridiculous, the amount of hours that went into that. So I thought this was one of the smarter moves, and I can tell you right now, personnel departments around the country are jumping for joy at, hey, we didn't want to do it. Thank goodness it's going to be a rule.
So there will no longer be blackmail photos floating out of guys who are playing at one school from their recruiting visit in 15 different uniforms, I suppose, is the way we could put it.
Yes, but remember now they allowed an unlimited number of official visits. So I guess you could still go out there and take 10 official visits and get your uniforms and everything, but no more every day are they out there having to do photo shoots, which is just too much.
It is very ridiculous. All right. He's on Twitter at Shea Dixon, On3 the Bengal Tiger. Shea, where is – look, everybody's watching what's happening right now with LSU, especially defensively. Make the LSU fan listening feel better that the cavalry is on its way?
Look, I think that there's a lot of guys on this defense that we haven't seen yet or we've seen glimpses of that are going to be very important pieces down the line. And I can go beyond Deshaun Womack or Whit Weeks. I mean, there are some promising young guys like Javian Tobiano at safety who's played a little corner as well. We've seen glimpses of Ashton Stamps as a true freshman. Jackson Howard's a guy whose dad was a top NFL draft pick. He came down here out of Minnesota. He's going to be that Jack linebacker once Obia Gofu and Swinson are done, who are both transfers, and maybe even get some time in with Swinson next year. So I think this team has a lot of pieces. I didn't even name them all. Quincy Wiggins was a guy who's kind of late to playing football. Ends up being very highly ranked. Well, he's only a red shirt and 5 games into his career. So he's going to be a guy who I think you look at and you can kind of surprise some people who may forget they've got a 5-star like that on the roster on the defensive line right now who just needs more coaching and more time, and that's the reality of it. So from a roster perspective, there's a lot already there. From a recruiting perspective, and On3 put out a graphic that I retweeted, and I think a lot of LSU fans are like, wait, really? That right now LSU's tied for the second most blue-chip recruits when talking defense for the 2024 class, and you're up there tied with teams like Bama and Georgia and Texas and the schools that you're going to have to go up against that also recruit very well on the defensive side. So I think moving forward, they're good. The one area of concern that beyond, I know people are freaking out about DB right now. I think that after this year, safety is a position that they're going to be young at unless they don't hit the portal. And then it's just production out of the defensive line. We've talked about it, Matt. Mekhi Wingo, Mason Smith, Savion Jones. Savion Jones is a 5-star. He's an excellent player at St. James. These guys have talent. They're just not getting it out of them right now. And maybe they are a bit talent, deficient at other spots, sure. But I think that their DB class right now, which is 6 deep, I would put up against any out there in the country. So help is on the way. I don't know if it gets here from Missouri this weekend, though.
Well, unfortunately, that's certainly the case. But let's talk a little bit about the 2024 commit. You said, I just want to highlight what you just said, that the current LSU defensive back class of commitments, you would put at the top in the country?
I would put them up there with most of the teams in the country in terms of quality that they're taking. I mean, you've got a guy in Juwan Johnson who right now is, still on pace and in a battle to break Brock Berlin's record for all-purpose yards as a high schooler, and he's going to play DB corner for LSU. I think he can make that transition. They went to Florida, got Kai Bates, who a lot of teams wanted. He'll finish as one of the top 10 corners in the country. And they've got Andre Evans, who I think is a really big upside play for them, in addition to Wallace Foster, with Evans coming out of the Nashville area. And then it's safety. People take advantage, take for granted. Yeah, you've got a couple safeties. They're from Denham Springs and the Felicianas. You thought they'd commit here. It's a given. Deshaun McBride's the top 5 safety in the country. Joel Rogers is one of the top 300 players in the country and the top 20 safeties. So this DB class, both rankings-wise and just how they're performing and upside and kind of the tools they have, athleticism, it's all there. So I'm nowhere near saying this is DBU again, but these are the type of recruiting classes you need to have to inch back towards that.
Shea Dixon for a couple more minutes on Twitter, at Shea Dixon on 3 the Bengal Tiger. Shea, I've learned so much from you over the years just about how recruits perceive things. And I think one of the concerns, if you're a fan or you're not indoctrinated in recruiting circles, you sit back, you watch the type of season LSU's having defensively, and you go, man, are we going to lose recruits because of how poorly they're playing? Ear to ground, what do recruits say about what they're seeing right now from LSU's defense?
I don't think that they I remind, and like you said, I remind people, you, Charlie, anybody I talk to that has a radio voice out there and people will listen, that remember high school kids lose all the time. High school kids have bad games where they don't play well, or their offense doesn't play well, or their defense doesn't play well. They don't view it through the same lens as a fan or, even us in the media business or on the radio. And yes, they could view it as, hey, I can go in there and play, right? Like, they're struggling, they need more guys, I can play. They also view it as, they got us, we'll bounce back next week. I mean, you kind of heard it from Brian Kelly after the game when someone asked about the mood of the locker room. And for those who have played sports and football, can certainly attest to this, is you walk out of a game like that and you're not head down saying we'll never win again. You're itching to get back on the field because you're like, we totally blew it. We blew it. We should have beaten them. Like, I can't believe it. Like, we cannot let that happen again. And even from high school guys we texted this week that are committed, we're like, it'll be a bounce back. I cannot believe that they lost. Like, it was so close at the end, but all is well. I'm committed, and I can't wait to be a part of it.
Hey, Shea, we've talked a lot about the portal as well, and obviously the portal window was news today because the portal window shrinking. But what do you think is, if I asked you sort of a big picture question about LSU's standard or stance in the portal and their ability to attract the best players in the portal, where are they today? Because they're, as we just mentioned, safety is probably going to be a key spot, but where they're going to have to go reinforce in the portal this offseason.
I think safety. I think that obviously D-line is one you continue to take a look at year over year, just because it's a position that's of utmost importance. One thing they're doing very well is recruiting on offense. Like, I don't think that they have to go get any more running backs or O-line or tight ends or wide receivers. Maybe they flirt with the receiver in the portal, because if you're losing Brian Thomas in the league and maybe you have some unproven guys after that, you bring a Louisiana guy back home or whomever pops up, I could see something like that happening. But it'll be defensively where it's focused. And I know people are saying, well, what about corner? What about corner? Well, they've done that 2 years in a row. And what they tried to do this time was, well, let's take a bunch of corners who are not about to graduate. So Denver Harris, Zy Alexander, Deuce Chestnut, J.K. Johnson, who's been hurt. The expectation would be you'd get all those guys back a year from now, and that they'd have a year in the system. And now you've grown guys like the Terrence Welsh and Stamps and them. So maybe a little corner, but for me early on, I was looking at the roster and depth chart before you called to get on radio, and I said, man, safety next year, if you've got no Major Burns or Greg Brooks or Andre Sam and Sage Ryan's at the back end of his career, we've not seen any other guys. Like Ryan Yates is the only other safety who's played. He got 6 snaps the other night. I mean, the inexperience that would be at the position is a little worrisome for me. But look, long way away from that. Maybe like guys like Burns still have eligibility. So we'll see who comes back. We'll see who doesn't. And I certainly think that the portal will be an intriguing, whatever it is now, 30 days instead of 45, an intriguing 30 days from December 10th or whatever it might be and into January.
He's on Twitter at Shea Dixon. Y'all give him a follow on 3, the Bengal Tiger. Shea, we always appreciate a couple of minutes, man. Thank you.
Anytime.
All right, man. Be well. Good stuff there from Shea. In the news, if you missed it, the portal window used to be 60 days. It was 45 at the end of the season and 15 days in the spring. They've shrunk it to a 45-day total. So it's 30 days after the season and then the 15-day portal window in the spring. We'll talk a little bit more about that and what all that means. Essentially, it doesn't change anything other than it's just a smaller amount of time for players to enter their name into the portal, which kind of gives coaches an answer as to whether or not guys are going to be back in a more in a more timely manner. Put it to you that way. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020. You want to see 2020? Call 924-2020 for the Williamson Eye Center. Of course, Dr. Blake Williamson, we tell you all the time about Dr. Blake and how he changed my life and does so for people and has done for thousands of people and does so for thousands of people in our state every single year, even outside of the state. It's crazy to hear people who come from Texas and Mississippi from all over just because if you're going to have someone operating on your eye, you want the absolute best. Well, that's Dr. Blake Williamson at the Williamson Eye Center. But Dr. Blake also is a huge fan of Americana music, and Federalis Fest is this weekend, Saturday, October 7th at Live Oak at Cedar Lodge, and the Williamson Eye Center is the title sponsor of Federalis Fest. So if you're interested, they're only selling 1,000 tickets total to this thing. So it's not going to be some massive, gigantic festival with just people crawling everywhere. So you're going to see some great music, food, beverages, all that sort of stuff. You can check out, get your tickets at federalisfest.com, federalisfest.com. A title sponsor is the Williamson Eye Center. Okay, we're going to go around the SEC, do a little Bourbon Dictionary in about 15 minutes. Our buddy Taylor Calandro will be here. We'll head up to New England in 30 minutes, top of hour number 2. We'll check in with Joe Murray.
Murray, present.
I don't hate it.
It's nice to hear it again.
I know.
It's been a minute.
It has been. You know what my one hesitation is?
What's that?
He's going to be so confused.
Well, I won't do it.
Oh, that's because he's not going to say his name. Oh, but I'll do resets.
I mean, I don't have to do it then.
You can do it during the resets because it's not going to throw me off. He'll be confused. But anyway,
I could take it out of his ear and he'll never know.
No. Let's roll.
Okay,
let's roll. Okay, we good. You do you. You do you. All right, it's After Further Review. Let's take a quick break. Go around the SEC. Is Urban Meyer going to Michigan State? Ooh, the rumor mill is swirling. We'll get to it next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Renaissance Hotel and the Watermark Hotel. Watermark downtown, Renaissance, Southtown, right there on Bluebond. Of course, when the Tigers are playing at home, their Friday night home before every home game is the Renaissance Hotel. And if the Renaissance can host the LSU football, not just the team, but the entire football operation, coaches, support staff, players, everybody, they can host your event as well. Call my friend Allison Crump over at the Renaissance Hotel. They're in the business of saying yes when it comes to hosting your event, whatever it is. They've even had instances where when they've had some type of overflow crowd, they've run food and buffet lines like through the lobby. They maximize their space. They can host events for as many as 500 people or as few as a dozen. So whatever event you're thinking about hosting next, a fundraiser, a dance, a banquet, they can help you. It's the Renaissance Hotel right there on Bluebonnet. Call them today over at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Life in Louisiana is like a run-on sentence. A poem that doesn't rhyme. Life is here, now. For life's moments, big and small, always there. The right card, the right care.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance shops, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. And I think we're rocking and rolling.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 30.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
If you haven't seen this yet, LSU has announced the Greg Brooks Victory Fund. It, of course, it's a donation portal online through the LSU website where by people who are interested can go donate to support Greg Brooks, his family, during this time where, if you've not heard yet, Greg has been diagnosed with a rare form of brain cancer. So he has medulloblastoma is what his official diagnosis is. So Greg Brooks is going to be undergoing treatment for brain cancer. And he's already had surgery to remove the tumor, as much of it as they could, obviously, but clearly there's more there that they still need to address. So we will certainly be lifting up Greg Brooks in prayer, cheering him on from afar. And a lot of us who have ever gone through serious medical situations know this. A lot of you who know my family's history know we went through this with not this specifically, but with our son Drew, and we lived in a hospital for 9 months. And it's so interesting because I was having a conversation today with somebody. The timing of this is interesting because I was literally having this conversation on the phone with someone around lunchtime today who gave a donation to my family, 10 years ago when we were going through everything with Drew. And I was thinking back to it today. I kind of became a little emotional about it because I think about the generosity of so many people and how our family would have been in ruin but for the generosity of so many. So I know it's really easy to to hit the retweet button or to share something. Certainly, I would encourage everybody, as the family is, to pray for Greg. But if you can give something to that family, I can just tell you firsthand, you never know what people are going through, and when bills mount, it is overwhelming to the point that it's hard to even comprehend. So, our sincere best and our prayers are with Greg Brooks and his family, and if you can donate, that victory fund that is set up for a reason. So if you can give anything, I know the family would be eternally grateful. Okay, from something way serious to something dramatically less serious, let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Alabama football's injury situation remains murky. Inside linebacker Dante Lawson and offensive guard Terrence Ferguson have both been out of practice after missing this past week's game against Mississippi State with ankle injuries. Their status for this week against Texas A&M is up in the air. The Crimson Tide and the Aggies kick off at 2:30 in College Station.
The Auburn Tigers.
Senior defensive end Mosiah Nasili-Kite out for the year. Tore his bicep this past weekend in the game against Georgia. He'll miss the remainder of the season. Nasili-Kite played 3 seasons at Maryland before transferring to Auburn. Tigers now going to lean on true freshman Keldrick Falk to fill the void.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
When the Arkansas Razorbacks roll into Oxford, they may have some shakeups on the offensive line. Sam Pittman confirming this. Patrick Cudis, who's been their starter at right tackle, looks like he's going to move to center. Bo Limmer, who's been the center, looks like he's moving to guard. And starting left guard Brady Latham could be moving to right tackle. Also, freshman tight end Luke Haas, who LSU became, unfortunately, quite acquainted with. He broke his clavicle. He's done for the year. Running back Dominique Johnson looks like he's making the switch to tight end to give some depth there.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
And Kentucky got a commitment from 4-star defensive lineman Brian Robinson out of Ohio, 6'5", 255. Picked the Wildcats over a host of schools, including Michigan, Tennessee, Pitt, Georgia, Penn State, Maryland. He's the 21st commit for Kentucky's 2024 class, the number 12 edge prospect in the country, the 7th best player in Ohio. There you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products online at gcopnet.com. gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Face-to-face sales, service after the sale. That's what you always get at Gulf Coast Office Products, with offices in Baton Rouge, New Orleans, the North Shore, Lafayette. They can get to you same day, worst case scenario, by 10 o'clock the next morning. It's Gulf Coast Office Products, a national leader among Savin dealers, but they will service all makes and models. It's Gulf Coast Office Products. Trust the best. Trust Gulf Coast Office Products. All right, it's after further review. Y'all do a little Bourbon Dictionary. Taylor Calandro jump aboard with us. Little nip in the air. Maybe not quite, but early in the morning, at least it's like in the 60s. So it's getting to be brown water drinking time and whiskey hunting season. A lot of you like to go hunt furry animals, not me. I hunt the brown water in a bottle. So Taylor Calandro, join us, answer your booze questions. To wrap up hour number 1, and we'll talk to Joe Murray coming up to start hour number 2. He covers the New England Patriots.
Present. Murray, present.
So we'll get a closer look at the Pats here in about 17 minutes from right now. Russ Mitchell in hour 3. Lock, loaded, ton to do on this Hump Day edition of AFR, presented by Pluckers. Don't you move.
AFR.
Been telling you all this week about Glow Resources, and so happy to have our friends at Glow Resources on the AFR team. As I mentioned, I've known Jareth Knockan for a good amount of time, and Glow Resources is a business and a company that for 30 years of combined experience has helped offer hiring and placement services for companies all over the country. As a matter of fact, not only in Baton Rouge, but locations in Houston, Miami, New Orleans, Orlando, Ridgeland. So you go to the website and learn more about what Glow does. They're a talent recruitment agency. They can help your business, your organization grow by connecting your business with exceptionally talented employees. And through the candidate marketplace, which can include millions of people, you got to find the right people for the job, and that can be challenging. So Glow helps build those bridges. GlowResources.com to learn more. GLO, GlowResources.com to learn more. It's Glow Resources, GlowResources.com.
I'm Chris Nakamoto, and here's what I'm working on for my stories on WBRZ Channel 2 tonight. A political spat is simmering hot in Baton Rouge after a councilman accused another of dirty politics. It's tied to a mixed-use development in an affluent area of East Baton Rouge Parish. The development, called Aztec Cove, has been tied up in litigation. And now there's a plan to create an economic development district in the area, paid through tax dollars. I'm Chris Nakamoto from WBRZ. Watch more tonight on WBRZ Channel 2.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
They're the gang with the slang. This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
All right, wrapping up hour number 1. Let's get your booze questions in. You can always tweet us at Matt Moscona or X us.
Hey, Twitter. Oh, no, not Twitter. Yeah. Hey, X world.
Thank you, George, truly. Or you can text the show in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400. Taylor Calandro is with us, Wine and Spirits Director at Calandro's. How are you, dude?
I'm well, man. How are you?
Doing awesome, man. As a matter of fact, last night, put Drew to bed. Eric and I, there was no football on last night. Had a little baseball on. Had a bet on the Phillies.
When does Maction start?
Well, I don't know when Maction starts, but you have football tonight. And as I saw, our friend Bud Elliott tweeted this morning, starting tonight, you have 48 consecutive days of football starting tonight.
Holy
So I know.
Sounds fabulous.
I know. How about that? So like literally every night you're going to have something. So tonight you got Jacksonville State at Middle Tennessee and FIU at New Mexico State. So
just thriller.
I don't know if I can interest you in that, but it is football, friend, and I'll be tuned into it. Anyway,
I guarantee you all 4 of those teams have better defenses than ours.
I mean, New Mexico State's on that list, dog, and that's just perennially one of the worst teams in college football. So,
that is be true.
I mean, otherwise, I'd probably be on board with you there. But you know what? You might actually be true. Anyway, before you very rudely interrupted me, what I was saying is, that's quite all right. Last night, without football, Eric and I sat down. We watched an episode of Suits on Netflix, and yeah, it's pretty good. And you keep interrupting me, man. What are you doing here?
Sorry.
Can I get through this?
Yes.
Okay. And I had a pour of Old Elk weeded bourbon, and it was spectacular. It feels like it's whiskey season now.
Yeah, man. Have you seen the weather for next week?
No, I haven't. Is it good?
You serious?
Yeah,
the high on Monday is like 75.
Oh, that's amazing. So
yeah, it's about to get weird with the whiskey weather.
I love it. That's going to be so good. Okay, so what's new?
Well, not whiskey. We have I've gotten asked on the show several times for this, and I'm kind of excited about it. And I just sent you a text. We got Hennessy White.
Okay, what is Hennessy White?
It's just like a light Hennessy, really agreeable, a good sipper on the rocks. But the kicker is it's only been available in the Caribbean for 25 years.
Oh, wow, okay.
And they even say it on the front label, this special 25th anniversary edition is dedicated to you, the fans, those that have explored the Caribbean seeking out Henny White, those that have hauled packed suitcases full of bottles for friends back home, those that make the trip all for the first sip. So thank you. This one's for you.
Is this Hennessy Pure White?
Yeah.
Okay. I see.
It's only been available in the Caribbean for 25 years, and they're just now releasing it in the States, and it's $100, and we just got it. I don't know how limited it is. We didn't get a lot. I don't know how limited it's going to be. So
okay.
Got that.
There it is, $100 for Hennessy White.
I've gotten asked. I've gotten asked on this show several times about it and for it. So
that's cognac. Have you tried it?
Yeah, I tried this specific release, but I've tried the Caribbean only stuff. It's good.
Okay.
If you like cognac, I mean, it's a light, easy drinking cognac. It was designed for hot weather, I think. So
interesting. Okay, all right. Let's get to your questions for Taylor. Fire away. Email us, text us, tweet us, all that good stuff. Here's one from Nathan who said, "Ask Taylor, what's the best alcohol to mix with my tears after a heartbreaking LSU loss?"
Well, we just got the new Pinhook Vertical Series bourbon. It's an 8-year and it's 115 proof. I think that'll do pretty good to quell some of your nerves and anger towards the football team.
Pinhook is fantastic, man. They do a really good job. Shout out to I hate to say it this way, but it's actually a good tie-in. Shout out to my guy Chase Parham over at Rebel Grove, an Ole Miss guy who is the first one to introduce me to Pinhook, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. I get it, but a big whiskey guy, and we share that in common, and he's the one that turned me on to Pinhook, and it's really good. I enjoy Pinhook.
Yeah, it's good. And the Vertical Series is actually really cool. They started it with the 4-year. Now they're all the way up to 8. I think they're going through 2027 to a 12-year. So it's a cool little series they're doing.
Joshua Abshire asked Taylor, any chance of procuring Blue Spot Irish whiskey, single pot still, anytime in the near future?
We have had Blue Spot. It's very sparing. We get a bottle or two every now and then. It's very rare. I think you'd have a better chance of finding it in a store like in the Houston market.
Okay. Greg Lehman asked Taylor, is the barrel aging process more important for creating good whiskey or rum?
I think it's important for both. I mean, there's really good long-aged whiskey. There's really good long-aged rum. And I've tried good rum that doesn't have a lot of age on it, too. I think it's more important with whiskey, obviously. Young whiskey is generally not very good.
I agree. Josh Rhodes snagged an Old Elk 10-year wheat yesterday. What's your favorite Old Elk?
Oh, well, I mean, you were talking about the wheated bourbon. The wheated bourbon is fantastic.
Yeah.
I love the double wheat. I can't remember what it's called, double wheat.
Mm-hmm.
That was a really good release, too.
My favorite, a few years ago, they released an Infinity Blend, which I think still stands out. That and maybe I'm partial to this for the wrong reason, but you invited me to do a barrel pick when Luis from Old Elk was in town, and we picked a straight wheat whiskey, and that to me still stands out above anything, but that was a barrel pick, so it's not like you can go find it anywhere because it was just that barrel. That one to me still stands out as the best Old Elk that I've had.
Yeah, and you're talking about the straight wheat whiskey. It's 100% wheat whiskey, and it's super agreeable. I mean, it's silky smooth with a lot of good flavor too. And I know why you enjoy that. That was a really popular barrel pick too.
Last one, Carla Sharp said, ask Taylor, which strong bourbon would you recommend for Madhouse and Coach Kelly to make them understand this offense win games, but defense wins championships?
Track down a Booker's.
Okay.
Track down a Booker's and get you 135 proof and drink until you can't see the TV anymore. I don't suggest that, though.
Yeah, let's drink responsibly. He is Taylor Calandro from Calandro's with us every Wednesday here on a Whiskey Wednesday. Thank you, dude.
All right, Matt. Thanks.
All right, man. Have a great rest of your day. It's after further review. Of course, LSU at Mizzou this weekend, and the Saints are up in New England, so we're going to head there. Joe Murray, who covers the Patriots, will be with us right after the top of the hour. So we just caught up on national headlines from SportsCenter. We'll come back and take a closer look at how Bill Belichick's fallen flat on his face here as a septuagenarian now. It's after further review presented by Pluckers. Hour number 2 is next.
AFR.
Brought to you by Traction. Get to TractionSports.com. Traction, where champions are made. The other thing that's going on right now that I have learned is a really big deal around Traction parts. Traction has their flag football league, like we talk about, the F&A. And every year, Traction puts out, or every week during flag football season, they put out their top 10. It is the weekly top 10 plays for the Traction week in flag football. And this week it's top 10 Taylor's version with a little hat tip there to T-Swizz and all the Swifties. So you've got a top 10 with Taylor Swift music. And you go check out the Traction Top 10 on their social media, Facebook, Instagram. It's all there for you. And you can always go to TractionSports.com, TractionSports.com. If you want your son or daughter to be the very best that they can be in whatever sport it may be, Traction can help. TractionSports.com. Of course, Traction Elite Physical Therapy as well. TractionSports.com. Traction, where champions are made.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
It was a humid day. Barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time to slip away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about 6 Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to 6 Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Calandro. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and 6 Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to 6ringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Texas having its way in Tampa Bay in Game 2 of their AL Wildcard Series. Adolis Garcia, Evan Carter of each homer. Josh Young, 3 hits, an RBI, and a run scored. Rangers lead the Rays 7-0, bottom 7. Texas moves on to the division round with a win today. Blue Jays also needing a W to extend their season, visiting the Twins. No score there, bottom 1. NBA, James Harden took part in practice with the 76ers today. He missed media day and the first training camp practice as his push for a trade goes on. By participating today, Harden may have helped himself with his trade request, notes ESPN's Ramona Shelburne.
The way he gets himself traded is by rebuilding his value, is by demonstrating I'm still a really good player in this league and I'll show up and I'll play and be professional. Because anyone trading for him right now is trading for him for 1 year. You cannot sign him to an extension because he picked up that player option.
LSU safety Greg Brooks Jr., who last month underwent surgery to remove a tumor from his brain, has been diagnosed with a rare form of brain cancer. Doctors say there is no evidence the cancer has spread in the 22-year-old.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman. Coming up Thursday, I'll give you my biggest takeaways from the second day of the baseball playoffs. It's on Sportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Sue. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Russ Mitchell next hour. Take a look at the weekend ahead in the Southeastern Conference. Saints headed up to New England. Not a game that is played often, only 15 times in history between the two teams. The Patriots 10-5 all-time against the Saints. But last time the Saints were in New England, a couple of years ago, Saints did work back in 2021. See if they can do it again. Joe Murray covers the Pats. He's
Murray, present.
Thank you, sir. He's on up there at 98.5, the Sports Hub. Joe, we appreciate it, man. How are you?
Hey, man. How's it going?
Man, it'd be doing a lot better if the home teams didn't stink. But you could probably empathize a little bit with that right now. What's the mood up there around the Patriots right now?
The sky is falling.
Right.
And it's been falling for a while. And it's all because of one man, and it's Bill Belichick, the way that he has built the team with personnel, moving on from Jacoby Myers for Juju Smith-Schuster. The sky is falling. They're panicked, and they just benched their quarterback. And Mac Jones is still a question mark.
Is Belichick going to get fired after this year?
I don't know. I'm going to tell you this much. He's definitely on the hot seat, and Robert Kraft, the owner, is upset. This year, they promised changes. They brought in Bill O'Brien from Alabama to help out. Through 4 weeks, it's worse than last year. What Bill Belichick did a year ago, hiring Matt Patricia to run the offense with Joe Judge, it's still lingering in the locker room. But they should be better than they are. But the draft has been terrible. The free agent signings have been worse. And the worst part about it, their offensive line is the worst we've seen in years. They had a guy, Dante Starnecki, here for a long time who could fix things, but it all just isn't working since Tom Brady has left, and people cannot talk about it. It's all we talk about. Bill Belichick, since Tom Brady, it's been really bad, especially you just mentioned at home. They struggled at home. They're 20-24 since Tom Brady has left at home. That's just not good enough.
Joe, could I suggest that the Patriots have lost to the Eagles, the Dolphins, and the Cowboys this year? 3 of the best teams in the NFL, and maybe it's not as bad as the record may suggest. Would that hold water?
That's what they'll tell you. They'll tell you that, but at the same time, they had a chance to beat the Eagles down 5. They had the ball in their hands to tie the Dolphins. And, last week was a disaster. Don't get me wrong. It was bad from the get-go. But you only scored 13 points against the Jets. It's just, to me, yes, the schedule was tough, but I just think that the play couple of mistakes, it's all from personnel and talent. It falls on Bill Belichick. But, hey, you guys are up in SEC country. I have never been a Bill O'Brien fan. He wasn't good at Alabama, I thought, despite having the Heisman Trophy winner. And now he's here, and he can't help. So if Bill O'Brien can't help Mac Jones, Josh McDaniels can't, and even Matt Patricia, who can? And at some point, he's going to be the ball guy, not Belichick.
So does that happen this weekend? We saw Bailey Zappi play in place of Mac Jones in the blowout on Sunday. Is this Mac Jones' game on Sunday?
I think it is, yeah. And I think Belichick alluded to it in our postgame show. But Zappi doesn't turn the ball over. They won with Zappi last year. Zappi might not be better than Mac Jones, but he doesn't get behind in games. He doesn't turn the ball over. And that's where I think they're at. If they turn the ball over, they're going to go to Zappi. But I think this week, it is Mac Jones. But for the Saints, the biggest thing is this: the Patriots are without 2 of their best defenders. Matthew Judon, the All-Pro, and Christian Gonzalez has been a standout corner. I know the 1-3 record's not great and the struggles are there. The biggest loss is going to be those 2 guys. And they're bringing J.C. Jackson today, who I think is a scrub. So, I mean, maybe they can fix it, but the Patriots defense has been good. And I'm not saying the Saints offense has been great. They might be catching the Saints at the right time this week, though.
Hey, Joe, stop stealing my notes, man. Joe Murray's our guest from 98.5 The Sports Hub. I was going to ask you about Judon and Gonzalez. So it's easy from afar to look and go, okay, I know what Matthew Judon is, 15.5 sacks a year ago. The dude was awesome. He's probably the best defensive player the Patriots had. And Gonzalez is a starting cornerback. You take those 2 guys away. I can quantify this, but qualify this for me, Joe. How big of a deal is it on Sunday for New England not having those 2 guys against the Saints?
Matthew Judon's the only player that teams have the game plan for on the Patriots roster. There's nobody else, not even on the offensive side of the ball. Matthew Judon was that important to the team. So he's on one side of the field, and then Christian Gonzalez is on the other. So I think that Josh Uche will probably can take that role. He's still pretty good. And Bill Belichick's game plans on defense are still good. They're still quality. But this week, in particular, I think the Saints are going to challenge the corners of the Patriots, and just like the Cowboys did a week ago. The question for the Patriots is the Saints have given up 95 yards or more a game. Can the Patriots run the football? If they can, it will stop the play-action pass to test that defense. Although I think the Saints defense is pretty good, I think the Patriots can run on them this week.
Okay. I also know that, and you just alluded to it as well, the Pats' offensive line has been a struggle. Sort of handicap that matchup for me there, Joe, with that Pats running game against the Saints defensive front, which over the past handful of years has been one of the best in the NFL, but early in this year they've struggled.
I think the Pats have to just try it. And what I mean by that is they lost Cole Strange. He was a first-round pick a year ago. He's projected to be back this week. They have to at least try to get Mac Jones under center. So when I say run the ball, it is against a good defense. Don't get me wrong. But they have to at least set the initiative that they want to win the game in the trenches. Now, 2 weeks ago, the Patriots didn't give up a sack versus the Jets. The Jets are a pretty good defense. They have to have that same mindset they play at home. I think they need to give the ball to Ramondre Stevenson and Zeke Elliott more. They just have to do it. So it's going to be a battle in the trenches. It's going to be a low-scoring game. But I think at home, the Patriots can maybe set up play action, and that's how they can test the Saints. But you've seen it week in and week out. I know the Saints are a good defense, but they have given up yardage, and the Patriots might have to take advantage of it at home this week in a desperation situation in an all-out game where I think they can't depend on Mac Jones.
Hey, Joe, statistically, these two teams are mirror images. I mean, almost identical offensive statistics. What's the key on Sunday? What tilts the game one way or the other?
In a way, I think it's going to be how Taysom Hill can make an impact, and maybe you can educate me on that, but I think he can do a lot of things. And I think he could be a gadget guy against the Patriots that they don't game plan for. Also, if Alvin Kamara is going to catch another 13 balls out of the backfield, I assume they're probably going to get more yardage this week. Is there a guy on the Patriots? Is there a guy that can cover him? I don't know if the Patriots have a linebacker that can cover Kamara, but you guys have Chris Olave. You got receivers that can make plays. The Patriots will scheme it right, but if you guys have big plays, the Patriots won't be able to keep up offensively. That's just the bottom line.
Man, the offense has been a struggle for the Saints. When you don't score a touchdown in your building against Tampa, vibes are not good, man. It's interesting, Joe, because we could probably just replace the team names and be having the same conversation if I were talking with you about the Saints. So what would a win for New England on Sunday mean?
Oh, they're 2-3. They play the Vegas Raiders next week with Josh McDaniels. It's redemption. It's 3-3 going into Buffalo. I'll just say this for you Saints fans out there: you have more talent than the Patriots. You should win this game. I just think the Patriots at home are in a must-win situation. The betting line is 1.5, which favors the Patriots. So I think that's another thing they have in their favor. But I think the Saints right now are going with Carr, which might not be their best option. The Patriots have beat those type of quarterbacks in the past. Those are the only teams they beat. Derek Carr and backup quarterback in Zach Wilson. So that's why the Patriots eventually win this week. But there's more talent on the Saints side of the football, no doubt.
Patriots also have a better head coach. There's no doubt about that. Joe Murray on Twitter at Joe Murr, M-U-R-R. Y'all give him a follow there. 98.5, the Sports Hub there in Boston. Joe, we appreciate a couple of minutes, man. Drive safely. Enjoy the game this weekend, man.
Good talk. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
It's our pleasure. Joe Murray covering the Pats. I agree with him. I mean, I don't know how you pick against New England at home just on the basis of Belichick against Dennis Allen. And I get everything that's going on in New England right now, but I get their frustration, but sometimes, outside looking in, when you can remove some emotional elements, you heard what he said there. I mean, they had chances to beat both the Dolphins and the Eagles the first 2 weeks. I mean, they were right there with a chance at the end of the game to win. Now, they didn't. They didn't make the plays to win, but no, they got blown out by Dallas 38-3. But it's dramatically different losing close games to the Eagles and the Dolphins than the Saints blowing a 17-point fourth quarter lead and not scoring a touchdown at home against Tampa and letting Baker Mayfield come and dominate you. Saints have the better record. I believe more in New England's ability to get it right, whatever right means. I don't think they're winning the division, and I don't think the Patriots going to the playoffs, but whatever get it right means with respect to New England and New Orleans, I would certainly lean more with New England and the greatest coach ever. Tough one for the Saints this week on the road after losing 2 straight. Now you got to go on the road to New England. We'll see how they do. Thanks to Joe Murray. We appreciate a couple of minutes with us here. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com, Michelli.com. Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Let me make sure that I enunciate very clearly there. If you don't follow Michelli on LinkedIn, I would highly recommend it. They do a great job on their LinkedIn producing a ton of business-related content. I saw one today. I saw a LinkedIn post that Michelli did earlier today. It was about this truck weighing center at a vehicle manufacturing plant. Anyway, my point being, Michelli, if you weigh or measure something, if you're a farmer weighing your crop, or if you're an industrial plant, you need to weigh trucks and other things, you need to calibrate your precision measurement devices, Michelli does all of it. ISO 17025 accreditation is available. Learn more at Michelli.com. That's Michelli, Michelli.com, Michelli.com for Michelli weighing and measurement. All right, it's after further review. Russ Mitchell next hour. We'll do some overrated, underrated Tigers and the pros later this hour. I do want to circle back to, if you weren't here about an hour ago, Shea Dixon was with us. We always appreciate Shea. There's just nobody better when it comes to LSU recruiting and covering everything. The NCAA today made some changes to the recruiting calendar and the transfer portal, etc. Recruits on unofficial visits can no longer do photo shoots, some things like that. I want to react a little bit to that, and something I had intended to get to last hour that I had to punt because we took some time to talk about the Greg Brooks story. If you have not heard, Greg Brooks has been diagnosed with brain cancer, a rare form of brain cancer. LSU has helped the Brooks family setting up the Greg Brooks Victory Fund for those that might be interested in donating to help the family with their medical expenses. The links are there at lsusports.net and all the LSU social media. One of the things that I intended to talk about last hour, and we rightfully pivoted a bit, is the rumors about Urban Meyer and Michigan State. Now, Urban's debunked or denied those rumors we'll talk about, but what that job may mean in college football, I want to get to all that. A lot to do. Glad you're here. It's a Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Pluckers.
AFR.
Buying or selling, commercial or residential. You need a realtor. You need Darren James. And boy, do I have good news for you. Boy, do I got great news for you. The guaranteed sale program, or excuse me, the guaranteed sale program is back. I'm having way too much fun doing that. Hey, you want to hear some good news? Tell me something good. You need to sell your home, but you're worried in this market if you're going to be able to get it done? How about this? Call Darren. He'll sit down with you. You'll agree to a price and a deadline. If Darren doesn't sell your home at that price by that deadline, he will have your home bought with cash or he'll sell it absolutely free. That is the guaranteed sale program from Darren James. Learn more online, agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water, they can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines, or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch, on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done, or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about 6 Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to 6 Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Calandro. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and 6 Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to 6 Rings.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
I just looked at Twitter. The first thing on my feed, the WNBA is expanding to Oakland. Tomorrow's announcement expected to be a confirmation of what at Thompson Scribe reported a week ago. This will be the first expansion team in the league since 2008. I'm not trying to bag on the WNBA, but aren't all the teams leaving Oakland?
They should call themselves the A's when they get there.
Not a bad idea. Or the Raiders?
Or the Raiders.
The Raidettes?
The Raidettes. The Raiderettes.
The Raiderettes.
I like it.
I wonder if that's trademark.
But wait, wouldn't that... okay. I don't know. Would that give them an odd number of teams when they need another team? I mean, I know... Yeah,
you're at... Do you think... You're at...
No, I don't know. I don't know why I asked
Did you just ask me a...
Yeah. You know what? I'll Google it. How about that?
Wait, no, I have a better idea.
Okay.
I have a better idea. Hold on, Muse. Don't look at it.
Okay.
Don't look at it.
Oh, Lord.
Don't look at it. I am curious. Name as many WNBA teams as you can.
Okay.
All right. Ready? Hold on. Wait. There are, let's see. There are 12 teams.
So they would need to add a second. That's going to give them 13 teams. See, they need another one.
That hasn't stopped other leagues.
Yeah, but that's not aesthetically pleasing.
The NFL had 31 before they added the Texans.
It's just terrible. Okay. All right, here we go.
Oh, no, I guess the Texans became 31, and then the Texans were 32 because when they re-added the new Cleveland Browns, they were 31. Then the Texans in 02 came around in 32. I believe is how it went. Yeah. Okay. All right. Here we go. Ready?
I'm ready.
Go.
The Aces.
I need city as well.
Sorry. The Las Vegas Aces.
Yes.
The Chicago Sky.
Yes.
The Indiana Fever.
Yes.
The LA Sparks.
4.
The Minnesota Lynx.
Yeah. 5.
Connecticut Sun.
Give yourself a ding.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Well, I'm concentrating
Muse.
here.
Radio, man. Use your buttons. That's
what
6.
did I say last?
The Connecticut Sun.
Okay,
that's
the
6.
New York Liberty.
You've already said them.
I thought I said the Minnesota Lynx.
You said them too.
Oh, I said the New York Liberty already? See, that's why
you said Aces, Liberty, Sun, Lynx, Chicago Sky, LA Sparks. That's 6.
Oh, God, I'm halfway there.
You got half the league.
Well, what's the one in Dallas? There's the Dream, right? Isn't there a Dream? Oh, I don't know where they're from, though. Oh, gosh.
Look at Paulie.
But they had the Dream. I get half credit for that. The Dream.
Yes. No, you do not get credit for that.
Oh, God. It's not Dallas. They're not the Dallas team, right?
No.
No. Dallas has a team, though.
Yeah, they
do. I'm about tapped out, man.
You done?
Yeah, I think I am.
The Dallas Wings.
The Dallas Wings.
The Atlanta Dream.
Atlanta Dream.
The Washington Mystics.
Yeah, I'd have never gotten that.
The Indiana Fever.
I said that.
Okay, then you had 7. The Seattle Storm.
Yeah.
And the Phoenix Mercury.
I wouldn't have got that either, yeah. 7. I mean, that's good. And then when they add the Oakland A's, it'll be 13.
Do you remember when was it the Colts that when the schedule release they put out the video?
it was the Titans.
Oh,
it was the Titans.
And then an NBA team did it as well.
Yeah, I don't remember who that was.
Who was was it Phoenix? Was it the Suns that did it?
It might have been. I don't know.
Anyway, the video, and they went, if you're not familiar, the Titans did a brilliant thing. They put out a social media video where did like a man on the street thing where they were asking people who obviously knew nothing about football. They just showed them the logo and said, like, basically, what is this team? And you got hilarious answers. And they would play the da-da-da, da-da-da, a little sound bite, and then, put, the made-up team name that they got incorrectly. It's certainly not as funny as me explaining it, but if you haven't seen it, just Google it. It's worth the 2 minutes of your life to watch. It's hilarious.
It was the Nets.
The
Nets recreated it.
I want to see people do that every year. I don't think I would ever get tired of that. Like, I could watch one of those every year around schedule release time. So continue to do that. Hat tip to everyone to those who are participating. All right. I'll get to the NCAA transfer portal thing. Brought to you by Relief Windows, windows door siding, reliefwindows.com. Energy efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank, vinyl siding, and now indoor shutters. Relief Windows is right there, y'all. Airline Highway in Prairieville. So if you're going south on Airline, if you're in Baton Rouge, going south on Airline, you go into Prairieville. Not even a quarter mile on the right, the new corporate headquarters. It is so worth just walking in there. Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, no appointment needed. Walk in. They always have an associate ready to help you. You could always schedule an appointment if you'd like to do so beforehand. But at Relief Windows, they'll measure twice, install once, and while they'll sell you windows, doors, siding, and indoor shutters now as well, their number one product is always customer service and customer satisfaction. You can trust Brandon Holly and the gang just like I did. It's Relief Windows. Windows, door, siding, reliefwindows.com. So the NCAA Division I Council has approved changes to the transfer portal. If you haven't heard yet, this shrinks the number of days for student athletes to enter their name into the transfer portal. Now players have 45 days total to enter the transfer portal, whereas it was 60. It used to be 45 days basically in the fall after the season, after the NCAA, the College Football Playoff Selection Committee would announce the teams in the playoff, and that would open the portal. You have 45 days, then 15 days in the spring. Well, they've shrunk it now. It's 30 days in the fall and 15 days in the spring, so 45 days total. I am fine with this. So you all know, like, I am the self-described extremist when it comes to NIL transfer portal. I get it. Not everyone, very few people agree with me to the degree and the margins in which I exist. Far, 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 far out there. I am all for letting players transfer every year as many times as they want and be immediately eligible, no waiver. If you want to play your 4 years at 4 different schools, you should have that right. Go wherever you want, within the conference, within the division. I don't care. Go. If any student can transfer in college, why can't a student athlete transfer in college? Go. Scholarships are a 1-year contractual agreement. That 1 year's up. Go. Go where you want to go. I don't know that we get to that point, but it's what it is now. And that said, I'm still okay with this because ultimately it's not the length of time that the portal window is open. It's just the opportunity for the portal window to be open. So keep in mind, if you're a student athlete who goes into the portal, you don't have to choose your transfer destination in that portal window. You can pick your school whenever you want. It's only that you can enter your name into the portal in that window. And by the time the season's over, 30 days is plenty. 45 days was a lot. 30 is plenty. It could be 7 days. It could be 1 hour for all I care. Because you can always remove your name from the portal, but it's just a shorter window to put your name in. So if you're a player thinking about leaving, put your name in the portal. I don't know how this is any different than the NBA draft, where you can put your name, you can file for the draft to get feedback from the draft review board. You can go through the draft process. You can go for workouts and get feedback from the NBA teams on what you need to work on. Every player should do that every year. I have no problem with that whatsoever. So if you want to have the portal window 30 days, fine. Or, in the right after the season instead of 45, okay. I don't care. It's just the opportunity for players to be able to put their name in the portal, to get that feedback, to see what options might be there for them. And by shrinking that portal window, what it does is it gives coaches an extra 2 weeks notice on who's going to be on their roster and who's not. Essentially to say, if you had to wait 45 days, that's an extra 15 days where there's some ambiguity. now when that 30 days expires, that's an extra 15 days where you don't have to sweat if someone's going to go in the portal because that window now for them to leave is closed. So I'm good with it. Make a decision. Make a decision. Stay, go, enter the portal, don't. Make your decision. Just have the opportunity for those student athletes to have the opportunity to make that decision. So I like it. I think this is a really good compromise. Again, I don't even care if you take it from 45 days to 4 days. Whatever. I mean, just players that are going to go in the portal are going to go in the portal, so go in the portal. Okay. It's after further review. We're going to knock out a quick break. Man, I keep putting off this Urban Meyer story. Where's my notes? Oh, here it is. Under the audio sheet. I keep putting off the Urban Meyer story. All right, let me do this. I promise we'll break, come back. I'll do the Urban Meyer thing first, and then we'll do overrated, underrated, and Tigers and the Pros to wrap up the hour. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time, or you don't pay a dime. I love sharing these 5-star Google reviews. This one comes from Fitzau00. Probably not their given name. But I can relate to this. This person says, Bobby, the technician, was on time, professional, and friendly. Took the time to get to know us and explain all of our options. Very knowledgeable. Never felt pressure to make a decision we were not comfortable with. Highly recommended. Bobby is the technician that came to my house last Thursday when the AC in our bedroom went kaput. And I can vouch for that completely. Professional, on time, friendly, explained everything in great detail to me to make sure I was making the best decision. Look, I'm going to have to buy a new AC system. That unit's about to go out. But we were able to get it back running and give it a little bit more life, ultimately, till when we do make the decision to change out our AC. It's River City's 1 Hour Air, 752-0001.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about 6 Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to 6 Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Calandro. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and 6 Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to 6ringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
After further review with Matt Moscona. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
So Urban Meyer was reportedly a candidate for the Michigan State job. As you know, Mel Tucker has been fired after allegations of sexual misconduct with Brenda Tracy, who... the true oddity that is, she's a sexual assault activist. Anyway, I don't know what happened or what's real or not. It's just such a bizarre story. Anyway, Urban Meyer, Bruce Feldman tweeted a bit ago, and he spoke with Urban Meyer. Bruce Feldman tweeted about the reports linking Urban Meyer to the Michigan State head coaching job. I just checked with him. There is zero truth to it with him being a candidate for it. He has no interest in that. And is happy with what he's doing now at Fox Sports. So, again, Bruce Feldman tweeting that he spoke to Urban Meyer, and Urban Meyer denying any interest in Michigan State, which makes a lot of sense. I mean, why would Urban Meyer want that job? He last coached in 2021 in Jacksonville. He's working at Fox Sports right now. Undeniably, he's one of the greatest college football coaches ever, winning 2 national titles at Florida, winning a title at Ohio State. Had undefeated seasons at Bowling Green and Utah. I mean, his overall college record is 187-32. I mean, the dude's one of the greatest college football coaches ever, but why would you take that job? It's interesting. One of the other names that I've seen sort of prominently listed for the Michigan State job is Mike Elko. And Mike Elko was Brian Kelly's defensive coordinator at Notre Dame. And then Jimbo hired him away to be the DC at A&M. And then from there, he was hired to be the head coach at Duke, where he's brought Duke to relevance. I mean, David Cutcliffe had Duke playing well at times, but certainly what Mike Elko has been able to do is taking Duke to the next level. But if you're Mike Elko, why would you take that job? Is Michigan State a better job with better resources than Duke? Yes. If you're the hottest name on the coaching carousel, why would you take the Michigan State job? You know what it would remind me of? And I don't know that this will happen, but it was like when P.J. Fleck took the Minnesota job. We've almost forgotten about P.J. Fleck because he hasn't brought Minnesota to great heights. But P.J. Fleck had Western Michigan in a New Year's Six game. He had Western Michigan in the Cotton Bowl. Remember? They were undefeated. And P.J. Fleck was the hottest group of 5 name among G5 coaches. And he took the Minnesota job. It felt like, man, why wouldn't you just wait and you'd have a better job come available? That's what Billy Napier did. I mean, remember, Napier turned down Mississippi State and South Carolina. He turned down a bunch of jobs, and he got the Florida gig. Much better job. Now, we'll see what he does with it long term, but the point is he waited and got a better job. It almost feels like if you're Mike Elko, why would you leave Duke for Michigan State? What is interesting, though, if you look at sort of the hot seat odds this year, there aren't any really prominent jobs that look like they're certain to come open. Most of what you see is, Tom Allen at Indiana is probably going to get fired. Brent Pry, Virginia Tech could get fired. It's a lot of that. There isn't a top 15, 20 job in the country that seems sure to come open this year. Now, things always happen. Coaches retire, get fired, something off the field happens. I mean, when the USC job came open, no one was anticipating Oklahoma come open, but when Lincoln Riley left Oklahoma for USC, then, of course, that job was open at the same time that LSU was open and Florida came open, and you had 4 major jobs open then. So it could, but if you're Mike Elko, I don't know why you would jump ship from Duke, where you've got a good thing going, to take the Michigan State job. Just be patient. There's a better job certainly waiting at some point in the near future. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, airline just north of Highland, southpointvw.com. Southpointvw.com. If you have ever considered buying a Volkswagen, or maybe if you've never considered buying a Volkswagen, I'm right there with you. Until 13 years ago, when I started endorsing South Point Volkswagen, I'd never driven a Volkswagen. Didn't know anything about Volkswagen. But I went over there, I met Kelly, and I said, I want to drive every different model that you have. I drove every different type of vehicle, and I fell in love. And since then, that's all Erica and I drive. She's driven a Passat. I've driven a Passat. I had the CC. She drives an Atlas right now. I had an Atlas. Now I'm in a Cross Sport. Whatever you want. You want that EOS, the fun convertible, that Sunday convertible to drive around on a beautiful day. You want that family SUV, the Atlas is a great option. But what you get with every single Volkswagen model, safest vehicles on the road, great German engineering, high performing, without the cost. It's South Point Volkswagen. SouthPointVW.com. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction? Okay, let's do overrated, underrated. Hit it, Muse. Oh, Muse. Oh, it's 4:40. I get it. Reaction time slowed down a little.
Overrated.
Oh, Paulie?
Or underrated.
I personally think he's criminally underrated.
No, I just fat-fingered the space bar in a second.
Puffing the magic dragon.
The end of the space bar.
Or did you miss it because you were
stinks when that happens.
You were pinching your J, and so you.
No, I wasn't doing that.
Coordinated.
I wasn't doing that.
You went with the roach clip instead?
The what?
Is that what he did? Is that what he did, Paulie? Is that what he did? Yeah.
That's exactly it.
I know.
The what?
A roach clip, Muse.
Okay.
It's when your J gets really, really small and you can't hold it with your fingers. You have a clip. You clip it. And you ever seen The Big Lebowski? You should watch The Big Lebowski.
Okay.
You don't have to. I'm not the guy who's like, hey, you got to watch this movie. People do that to me all the time.
All the time.
Because I don't watch movies.
Ever.
Hey, you got to watch this. I'm not going to watch that movie. No, not watching it.
Overrated or underrated? Boiled crabs.
Underrated. Boiled crabs are tough because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
It is.
But man, the effort is worth the payoff. I understand why people are intimidated by them and don't want to mess with them because of the amount of work. But they're underrated because you're passing on it because the effort, in my opinion, is worth the payoff with boiled crabs. Underrated.
Overrated or underrated? Line dances.
Completely overrated. Line dances exist for people who can't dance to get up and go do something, to feel like they're part of the party. I am offended by line dances.
You're offended by line dances?
I think they are stupid, not fun, lame, corny. If I never hear the freeze again in the entirety of my life, it would be considered a blessing. To every dope that's ever created a line dance, a pox on you and your entire family. Yes, this is my opinion, whereas normally I try to go more toward a straight line fact, not just what I think, but in this instance, I feel so strongly about it that the fact that line dances exist make them overrated.
Catch Matt on the floor doing the Cupid shuffle.
Not a chance in hell.
Overrated or underrated? Law and Order, as in the television show.
Never saw it.
Oh.
Sorry.
What
do you think?
I love it. I think it's a fantastic
Good.
show.
Never seen it.
I mean, there's so many of them too. There's like 3 or 4 different ones. That's surprising.
Never seen it. Not a single episode ever.
Yeah.
Is that the one with the chung chung?
Yeah, and we even do that we even play that all the time.
Right. You know why I know that?
Why?
So there's an episode of Sesame Street where they're looking for the missing letter M. And they keep playing the chung chung, and Drew loves that episode. So I've watched that episode of Sesame Street 10,000 times. And I think they call it like Law and Order Special Letters Unit or something like that.
Look at that. Yeah.
They did on it.
I like that.
And they go like chung chung.
I see what they did there.
I do like the chung chung thing. We've played that a bunch here. It's a really good sound effect for the purposes that we use in radio. This would be a great time to play it.
I know, but I took it off the button, so you know. That one's not as handy as it should be. Overrated or underrated? Probably gonna butcher this. Paulie gave me this one.
Paulie, thanks for contributing, Paulie.
Idris Elba. Did I say that right, Paul? I did.
Okay.
I don't know.
I feel like I saw Idris Elba on SNL, but I have no idea who that is. You guys have to understand. Who is Idris Elba?
It's like the most known actor in the world.
That's
okay, maybe behind The
that's
Rock, but
factually inaccurate, Paul. To say that Idris Elba is the most known actor in the world.
he was like the most sexiest man a couple years ago. Like he's been
Paulie,
literally
if you have to explain to a casual fan or moviegoer who this person is, that is by definition not the most famous like Taylor Swift is the most famous entertainer in the world, because in any corner of the world in which you go, even if someone doesn't like or know of her music, they know who Taylor Swift is, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. So Idris Elba, not the most famous actor in the world.
Okay, you got me there.
I know.
So overrated?
Completely overrated.
Going with this?
That one legitimately surprising that you didn't know who that is.
Paulie, why would this be surprising to you? We sit in this box together every day for 3 hours.
I don't think you have to watch movies to know who that is, though.
Clearly you do.
I didn't know who it was either.
Who is Idris Elba? What is Idris Elba in?
I don't know. I thought I was mispronouncing the name.
2/3 of the people in this room, Paulie, don't know who this person is who you claim to be the most famous actor in the world.
Okay, maybe a couple years ago.
No! It wouldn't matter if it was a couple of years ago.
They were talking about making him like the next James Bond and all
Who
that.
do people know?
Oh,
Idris
that'd
Elba
been cool.
or Jim Carrey?
Jim Carrey.
Right. Jim Carrey hasn't made a movie in several years, Paulie. Idris Elba. Sounds like a disease. There it is. Thank you, Muse.
That's overrated or underrated.
Better late than never, but as we've already discovered, it's 4:46, so your reaction time a little slowed by now. Starting to kick in a little bit, isn't it, Muse? There goes that chung chung thing again.
It doesn't really work for that, but I don't know.
There goes that chung chung thing again. Look up the Sesame Street episode and you'll see it. It goes, there goes that chung chung thing again. All right, let's go to break. Russ Mitchell in 30 minutes. Brian Kelly and Eli Drinkwitz were on the SEC coaches teleconference. We'll let you hear what the two Tigers coaches had to say. That's coming up in 15 minutes. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Pluckers, title sponsor of our Hump Day shows all throughout the year. Nicholson and Bluebonnet Dining, Carry Out, or Delivery. As we mentioned, today starts 48 consecutive days of football. Are you fired up? 48 straight days of football starts today. You got 2 college football games tonight. Jacksonville State against Middle Tennessee State and Florida International against New Mexico State. You want a place to watch? Get by Pluckers. Also, it's October. MLB postseason going on. Right now, the Twins and the Blue Jays are underway. Bottom 4, no score. 2 runners on for the Blue Jays. We'll see if they can break through here. You want to watch all this heart-pounding action while indulging on award-winning jumbo chicken wings, ice-cold draft beer, full-service bar. The one place to go is at Pluckers. Dining, carry out, or delivery. Pluckers. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP or 2.9% for 72 months on all new 23 Ram 1500 trucks in stock. All with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means It's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Wrapping up hour number 2, Russ Mitchell in 25 minutes. We'll get to what Brian Kelly and Eli Drinkwitz had to say on the SEC Coaches Teleconference, previewing the matchup in Como coming up on Saturday. Right now, Musso has Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
Odell Beckham Jr. back at Ravens practice today, Wednesday. Of course, OBJ missed missed 2 games earlier this year with an ankle injury. Actually injured that ankle against the Cincinnati Bengals week 2. But back today was limited, was Odell Beckham Jr. Jamal Adams. No. Adam Schefter is reporting that the NFL is considering discipline against Jamal Adams for berating the concussion doctor on the sideline. This is stupid. It's not the first time that guy's been yelled at. I guarantee you that. And the only reason it's a big deal is because you caught it on camera. Consider the emotion here. He hadn't played in 385 days, got 9 snaps, and was told he couldn't play anymore, and then had to go into the protocol.
Yeah.
Don't discipline him for being emotional. That's dumb. Major League Baseball last night. Kevin Gausman got the start for the Blue Jays. No. It didn't go well for him. 4 innings, 3 earned, 3 hits, 3 walks. Did punch out 5, but got the loss in the ballgame. Gave up 2 home runs as well. 0-1, and the Blue Jays are now on the verge of elimination. Here's Carlos Correa just drove in a run. And, yeah, it's great. The Blue Jays stink. The Rays, they got eliminated earlier.
Now.
They stink, too.
2-0, Muse.
The Orioles are actually pretty good.
Stink.
The nightcap tonight, Phillies, Otter cashing tickets last night. How about that?
How about it?
Love to see it. Got a great chance again tonight. You know why? Because Aaron Nola's on the bump. You're the worst. I mean, just the freaking worst. Samir Nola's 6th postseason game. He's 2-2.
You didn't think all that was intentional?
I mean, I kind of had
I knew what I was building to.
Figured it was coming. 5 previous games. This will be his 6th postseason start. He's 2-2 in the other 5 with a 4.91 ERA, 5 walks, and 27 punch-outs. See if he gets it done tonight. That's Tigers in the pros.
Oh, man. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry.
That was good. I mean, it was good, too.
Thank you. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. LMFJ.com. LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. My buddy Scott Berg over at Lee Michaels just got back from a trip overseas, scouting and sourcing the best diamonds in the world. What a great selection. Locations all over. Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Lafayette, Shreveport, and online at lmfj.com. Gentlemen, thinking popping the question, getting close to the holiday season, it's time. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry can help. lmfj.com. Okay, it's after further review. Sports Center staring you straight in the face. We get caught up on national headlines. When we come back, hour number 3, Brian Kelly, Eli Drinkwitz previewing the matchup on today's SEC Coaches Teleconference. We'll let you hear what the two coaches had to say. Russ Mitchell in 20 minutes. Don't you move.
AFR.
Mold Zero is now Pure Restoration. Same company, new name. Mold Zero is now Pure Restoration. Same company, new name. Mold Zero is now Pure Restoration. Pure-restoration.com. Still, their patented non-toxic dry fog. One of the reasons the dry fog is so much better than the traditional fogging method is because when you have a traditional fogging method, it's like little water droplets all over. When that stuff gets on furniture and wood, it can damage it. When you call Pure Restoration and they dry fog, it can get on furniture and everything else in your home. Think of they saved millions of dollars for people by not having to take furniture and other home contents out. It's Pure Restoration. Learn more online about their dry fog. Pure-restoration.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water, they can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I'm Chris Nakamoto, and here's what I'm working on for my stories on WBRZ Channel 2 tonight. A political spat is simmering hot in Baton Rouge after a councilman accused another of dirty politics. It's tied to a mixed-use development in an affluent area of East Baton Rouge Parish. The development, called Aztec Cove, has been tied up in litigation, and now there's a plan to create an economic development district in the area, paid through tax dollars. I'm Chris Nakamoto from WBRZ. Watch more tonight on WBRZ Channel 2.
I'm Christine Lisi. After an incredible start to the baseball season, it is all over for the Rays. Nate Eovaldi, 1 run, 6 hits, 8 Ks and 6. Corey Seager, 2 hits. He drove in a run, scored another. Texas beat Tampa Bay in Game 2 of their wild card series. 7-1 the final. They completed the sweep. Rangers will face the Orioles in the ALDS. Meantime, the Blue Jays facing elimination. Game 2 of their AL wildcard series do trail the Twins 2-0 in the top of the 5th. James Harden participated in practice with his 76ers teammates today. He missed media day and the first training camp practice as he continues to push for a trade to the Clippers. Harden might be in Philly for a while, explains ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski.
Both the Sixers and the Clippers, their need for James Harden isn't necessarily over 82 games. It's to have him ready to go for the playoffs. Certainly, he helps you get through the regular season. He helps you get a better seed. But this is not a trade that has to happen in the short term.
Our Adrian Wojnarowski on NBA Today.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman. Coming up Thursday, I'll give you my biggest takeaways from the second day of the baseball playoffs. It's on Sportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
And Mr. Toby Tumpley. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. And oh, by the way, it's a hump day. Yeah.
It's hump day.
Let's hump, everybody.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
It's a hump day.
Hump day.
We're into October.
It's hump day.
Russ Mitchell in 12 minutes.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
He'll kick tires.
Hump day.
He'll light fires.
It's hump day.
I have a feeling he might set the LSU defense on fire as well.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
I am really looking forward to it.
Hump day.
We went up to Boston last hour.
It's hump day.
Joe Murray was here.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We had Shea, Dixon, hour 1.
Hump day.
Trevor Penning playing better.
It's hump day.
Saints add Cam Erving.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Former first-round pick.
Hump day.
Supplementing that offensive line.
It's hump day.
We'll do some Pluckers trivia.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We'll do some Otter Line.
Hump day.
We got a lot to do. Let's get rolling. Shout out, by the way, the Greater Baton Rouge chapter of the Louisiana Restaurant Association having their Oktoberfest tomorrow at Point Marie. If you've not been to Point Marie, it's on River Road in Baton Rouge. Gorgeous place for an outdoor event. It's $50 for general admission. We got like 20 tickets that we're going to be giving away. Probably should have done this earlier in the week. My bad. But it's from 6 until 9 p.m. tomorrow. Tons of beer, tons of food. Going to be awesome, man. So we'll give some tickets away today, and then tomorrow probably give the OTB guys a bunch of tickets to give away in the morning. So, but mark it down. If you're looking for something to do tomorrow, again, Thursday evening, October the 5th, 6 until 9 p.m. at Point Marie, it's the Baton Rouge chapter of the Louisiana Restaurant Association Oktoberfest. I mean, beautiful weather, great German beer. Sponsored by our friends at Mockler Beverage, incidentally, because Mockler sponsors everything all the time because they're the best. Oktoberfest, again, tomorrow at Point Marie. All right, y'all, we'll get to Russ Mitchell here shortly. Brian Kelly and Eli Drinkwitz were on the SEC coaches teleconference. Brian Kelly, obviously, looking for his team in a bounce back this week. Here's what he had to say.
Really good football team. We got to go back on the road against a nationally ranked team. Obviously disappointed in what happened last week, so looking to rebound and play up to our standards. So excited about this opportunity.
As for Eli Drinkwitz, he was asked about this LSU offense, and I don't believe this is coach speak. I think Eli Drinkwitz understands what his defense is up against with LSU.
They've got a very good, efficient offense. I only have them punting 9 times on the season, and we're through 5 games. I mean, that's an elite number right there. So our defense is going to have to be really good at 4-point plays in the red zone. We're going to have to be really good at trying to force takeaways, and offensively we got to make sure we value our possessions and take care of the ball and score points.
One of the really interesting things also about this game is Mekhi Wingo is going back to Missouri. And Mekhi Wingo did meet with reporters on Tuesday and talked about going home.
It's going to be great. I've been talking to my old teammates there and all my friends. So, it's definitely going to be great just to those family members that never really been able to travel, just to be able to come back home and play in front of them. It's a great feeling.
And interestingly enough, Mekhi Wingo and that LSU defensive front 7 are going to be so important in this ball game. LSU, it's interesting. That line opened LSU 6.5. It's down to 5.5 now because what's happening is exactly what I think we talked about yesterday. Thought would happen is the odds makers put that line out there, and the public saw LSU, the defense that just gave up 700 yards and 55 points to Ole Miss. Now they have to go on the road to Mizzou, 5-0 Mizzou. It's going to be a sellout, and Mizzou's getting 6.5 points. Give me Mizzou all day. You're seeing that. And you're probably going to see that line go down a little bit. And the Sharps are waiting, and they're going to hammer LSU late. I'm telling you, you're going to watch that line grow again because the Sharps are going to be all over LSU in this ballgame. But for LSU, it really feels like the onus is going to be on Mekhi Wingo and that LSU defensive front 7 because that's where LSU has talent. Where they are deficient clearly is in their secondary. We've talked about it a ton. We all know that. This front 7 has to play better. And they've played well at times this year, but they got to be able to go to Columbia this weekend and play better. I mean, it's hard to play worse than you did this past weekend. But you look for a big bounce back here from LSU. Now, offensively, you know that you're going to have to get going offensively in this ball game because it's just what LSU is going to do. And they're going to be an offensive-centric team, and they're going to have to lean on their offense. And, I think, for one of the really interesting things Jaden Daniels said when he met with reporters on Tuesday was that he feels like this LSU offense isn't even running at its max efficiency, that they could be averaging better than 50 a game right now instead of the 44 they're averaging if they were running at a greater efficiency than they are, which is hard to imagine that they're doing. But, Jaden talked about this offense and how confident they are right now.
It's week by week, but one thing I try to do is no matter what the performance, the good and the bad, it doesn't translate to now. So, whatever we did on offense last week or the past couple weeks, it doesn't translate to Missouri. So, we got that on to the next mentality because if you keep trying to live in the past, you're not in the present or anything like that.
Jaden is he's really impressed from a lot of different standpoints, right? I think we all look at the athlete and realize you have this kid that's 6'4" and is a fantastic athlete who can move the pocket, who can make plays with his feet. He's shown you the accuracy that a lot of people wanted to see. The decision-making has always been good. Maybe the argument has been he's been too tentative, but the decision-making is good as far as protecting the football. And the leadership is undeniable. His ability to just be steady and calm no matter not getting too high or too low. And it's one of the reasons why you like LSU to be able to sort of flush what happened a week ago. Now, on the flip side, Eli Drinkwitz was asked this question today. Given how that Ole Miss game went, does Missouri this week focus on that tape because of LSU struggles in it?
I think you look at it more based on the personnel that's involved. I mean, some of the personnel that played earlier in the season not there anymore, whether it's due to injuries or whatever the case may be. And I think the later you get into the season, you more develop into the identity that you're going to have. So I don't necessarily think it's a scheme-wise. I think when you watch that game, you realize, for me as an offensive coach, I have a much more appreciation for the way the quarterback played. I thought Dart played outstanding. Judkins played, as good as any running back in the country in the yards after contact. They have several running backs that can really play well. So I think there was a lot of that game that was a special performance by Ole Miss as much as anything.
And if you're LSU, you're looking at it at all the missed tackles and the missed opportunities in it. But Eli Drinkwitz kind of saying the right things there, but the thing he's right about is the different personnel. I mean, we watched LaTerrence Welch start. We saw Ashton Stamps, true freshman, make his first career start on the road against Ole Miss. We've seen changes on the defensive line. Just look at what they were in the season opener and how much has changed. Where Zy Alexander, Deuce Chestnut were starting corners against Florida State. Neither guy started against Ole Miss this past weekend. Harold Perkins was a starting inside backer with Omar Spates against Florida State. Neither guy started at that spot against, I guess Omar Spates did. But 2 weeks ago, with Spates out, you had two different starters with Greg Penn and Whit Weeks. Perkins has moved to the outside. Yeah, there's been a lot of personnel changes on that defense just in 5 weeks. So how much more comfortable and familiar can they get? That's going to go a long way to LSU's progression offensively this game and for the remainder of the season. All right, LSU and Missouri, Saturday, 11 a.m. From Como, and it's going to be a sellout. I know a lot of people who are trying to get tickets up that way. I do not believe LSU. I was told LSU did not sell its allotment for this game. So I don't think there's going to be a great number of LSU fans there, but there's going to be an awful lot of people in black and gold cheering for Mizzou as they're fired up to be 5-0 for the first time since 2013, ranked. What they feel like is a gettable LSU team coming in. It's going to be a good environment, as good it can be for an 11 a.m. game there in Como. LSU's going to have to be up for the challenge. All right, it's after further review, y'all. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. Russ Mitchell will join us as he does every single Wednesday here on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by HUDCO Roofing and HUDCORoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. HUDCO Roofing, HUDCORoofing.com. Tell you every day if it's commercial or residential, if it's your traditional standard shingle, if it's slate, tile. HUDCO can handle any roofing problem that you may have. It's a roof repair or roof replacement. The other thing that I want to point out, I've mentioned this a couple of times to you, is the silicone coating product. So maybe you have a flat roof, a metal roof on your commercial building. HUDCO offers a silicone coating product, and what that does is coat your roof. It'll extend the life of your roof with a 20-year warranty, and it's roughly half the cost of a roof replacement. So learn more. You can go to the website, as a matter of fact. You'll scroll down and you'll see the Cool Roof Rating Council right there, and you'll see more about this silicone coating product, which, if you have like a warehouse that gets very hot, you want to cool it by as much as 20 degrees, this could help. Learn more. HUDCORoofing.com. HUDCORoofing.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done, or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird. Russ Mitchell.
Kicking the tires and lighting the fires.
Russ!
Literally.
Well, I'm proud of Russ. I think Russ deserves it.
Rusty, come on up here. Absolutely, I thought that was going to happen because it's state. It's supposed to happen.
You know, I haven't had much of a chance to talk to you man to man, Russ.
How are things out there at DBU?
I want you to stay here and take care of things, Russ.
Nothing heals an offense like playing Texas A&M.
Not going in our yard, Russ. It's going in our living room.
Just like Troy.
Can't see the line, can you, Russ?
Put your foot on his throat and choke him out.
Take it, Russ.
Long overdue for an upgrade. Why not after the worst defensive performance in school history? Russ Mitchell, college football news. How are you?
Oh, kicking the tires, lighting the fires.
Hey, what did you do on Saturday night at about 6 o'clock Central Time?
Broke stuff.
Yeah.
I was breaking things.
Why? I thought you loved all your children the same.
But I at least I haven't broken the LSU defense, so I don't have that on my conscience. You know, some men have greatness thrust upon them. Men are born great, and then there's the LSU defense, which I don't know where I was going with this, but it's just like the LSU defense doesn't know where it's going. It's so shockingly terrible to watch. The only thing that we can say is that it wasn't a surprise.
Oh man, I mean, Russ, 706 yards. That surprised me, and I thought we'd have a high-scoring game. I didn't think we were going to see 706 yards. I didn't think we were going to see.
Dude, it wasn't just the total number of yards. It was that first quarter was just so embarrassing if you're an LSU fan. Just so embarrassing. TD guys were wide open. There were plays where it wasn't like there was no LSU person in the screen on the television, and it's not like this was a zoom in shot. This was like you could see a quarter of the field, and there wasn't a single LSU defender. There wasn't any purple and gold. It was white, red, and green for the whole television screen. And it's like, how couldn't that happen? Like you almost have to plan not to have any players in that space.
Was that the worst ever? So was that we start looking at like the pantheon of shame, and the 2020 defense statistically is the worst ever. The 2020 defense allowed 34.9 points per game and 492 yards per game. It was statistically the worst defense ever. And I would still say, Russ, that the Bama game in 2020 is the worst performance I've ever seen. They allowed 45 points in the first half, and if Bama wanted to score 100, they could have. They called off the dogs in the second half. But what about you? Was this worse than that for you?
This is worse because this is arguably the second best offense I've seen LSU have in my life. And it just makes it so. I'm really trying to be objective here.
Don't be.
You know, it just makes it so painful to watch this be wasted. You know, I mean, it's like you don't even. Do you remember when we were always good because our defense? I'm saying the wrong pronoun. we were always good because our defense was great, and we had Matt Mock as a quarterback, right? So it's like that's good enough.
Yeah.
You just got to be average, you know. You just got to be. And by the way, he was better than average.
Yeah, Mark.
You just got to, but you just got to be above. You know, you got to be good. You don't have to be great. You just have to be good. You can't be the dead last defense in the league.
Yeah.
And I don't get it, man. I don't get it. There's enough talent on this team, man. There's NFL guys all over that defense. Not in the secondary. That clearly is and we talked about this since day one of this season, right? We talked about this last week. I said you're never going to win a championship with this team, with this defense. But you got to blame the coaches on that. I don't care. You got to know when you're looking at these guys that they're not going to be able. They can't even keep up with your own offensive players during the game. They're definitely not going to be able to keep up with the other teams. How do you let that happen? How does the LSU coaching staff allow this gaping of a hole on the team? You don't have. This is the best that we have for the entire secondary. And you know, I heard someone. I was chatting with a different. I don't want to make you jealous, but I was chatting with a different radio station, and the guy said, "Well, they only have one conference loss." I was like, did you watch the game on Saturday? They gave up over 700 yards of offense. Like, who are they going to stop?
Well, all right, since you're not objective, I will try to be moderately objective, just to pose a question, because I think it's very bad. But just for the sake of the conversation, okay? They did completely stymie Mississippi State. And, no, I get it. But my point is, it's not going to be that bad again this year. They're not going to give up 700 yards again. I also think part of the reason that's against Mississippi State is state. So can the truth be somewhere in the middle?
No. No. If you... They gave up 300 yards. They were consistent in their ineptness. in their ineptitude, they gave up over 300 yards rushing and 300 yards passing. That's the first time ever in the history that we've been playing football in the Southeastern Conference that's happened.
Which would suggest, wouldn't it, though, since it's been 100 years, that won't happen again this week?
You're such a homer right now.
I'm not. I'm not telling you they're good. Yeah. I'm just telling you they're not going to give up 700 yards again.
Okay, Matt. So this weekend, what has never happened in the history of Southeastern Conference football won't happen 2 weeks in a row.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, fine. I'll agree to that.
Okay.
What's never happened before won't happen 2 weeks in a row.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
But by the way, I'm not prepared to guarantee that.
I will. And I will say that Missouri is not going over 706 yards of offense on Saturday. I will guarantee
Actually,
that.
It's funny because we're laughing right now, but if I made you put up something serious on the other side of that, you'd have to think. You'd have to stop.
I'll 100% do it. What do you want to bet?
Because I would too. I mean, this is, and we'll talk about it in the next segment. But This is, if there's one thing you want to hang your hat on, this offense that you're going to play Missouri, they can't put up points like that. I mean, they've played nobody so far this year, right? They played Vanderbilt. Kansas State's the best team they've played. They haven't put up they put 38 up against Vandy. They put 38 points up against Vandy. Yeah. So, they're not like Ole Miss. They're not the type of offense that will run out and put up 700 points. 700 yards. 700 yards. Like that you got to move the ball every single time you touch it to get to 700 plus.
Well, you have a lot of 43-yard runs and 63-yard receptions.
The drives in the first half were full field drives, 75, 80, 60, whatever they were. I mean, they were the whole length of the field.
Yeah, I know.
So disappointing. I mean, it's so disappointing given how ridiculously good this offense is right now. It's just so disappointing.
I know. Okay.
We didn't even get to talk about Kentucky and what they did to Florida. Wow.
All right, let's do that when we come back. And then, because obviously we have to talk about Kentucky, Georgia, because I think it kind of feels like that's for the SEC.
That's the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the game.
Let's do that when we come back. Russ Mitchell's here. Don't you move.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan, injury attorneys. You know where to find them on all social media platforms at Get Gordon or online at getgordon.com. Of course, you can always go to gordongives.com as well. It's gordongives.com if you want to learn more about all of the things that Gordon does to benefit our community, all the organizations that they've helped, the community involvement over the course of the years, more than 3 decades. Of course, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and Gordon always does great benefits and great projects in Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Ride for Your Cure is something he's done in the past where they'll have buses wrapped in hot pink. So you can see the city buses around town wrapped in hot pink with the number 888-8888 all there. The Ride for a Cure is something that you'll see Gordon and his team do. Of course, if you've been in an accident, you need representation, call 888-8888. That's 888-8888. Or go to getgordon.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
Running Bart's marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Board's marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance jobs, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. And I think we're rocking and rolling.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Countryside.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, we continue with Russ Mitchell, of course. Every single Wednesday, Russ joins us, college football news. We recap the weekend that was, preview the weekend that will be. So basically did the post-mortem on LSU Ole Miss there. Now we kind of look ahead. You want to start with a thought on LSU-Missouri?
You want to start with that one?
We don't have to.
Yeah. Yeah. Usually we save the LSU game for the end, but I'll start wherever you want to, brother. It's your funeral.
Well, no, then we'll come back to LSU, Missouri. We did talk about Kentucky, Georgia, because I think we sort of agreed that that's the one that, I don't know, Russ. I mean, it feels like that's the one for the West. I mean, Kentucky pounded Florida and sort of made a little bit of a statement there. So, I mean, are you a believer in Kentucky right now as the second best team in the East?
The East, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, what a I've watched that game twice. They dominated from the beginning of the game to the end, never took their that's what I really like about this Kentucky team this year. Didn't take their foot off the gas 1 minute, man. They put their foot on the throat of the Gators and they choked them out the whole game. And I don't think, Georgia hasn't played a full game all year so far. They've fallen behind in most games. You can't fall behind against this Kentucky team. They won't let you get back up. This Kentucky team, it's now I'm going to say Georgia's got more talent, right? I mean, they've recruited better. They've got, if you were going to say who's got more talent, but that's not what wins the game. It's how that talent plays together. And right now, I have far more faith in how the Kentucky football team is playing together than I do Georgia. And if this game was played in Lexington instead of in Georgia, I'd absolutely be picking Kentucky big. What's the spread in this game?
It's 15.
Georgia's.
But Georgia, Kirby has been a bad home favorite and a good road dog, which makes last week's struggles against Auburn a little surprising. But this was a spot where under Kirby, Russ, Georgia typically rolls when they're a home. No, I'm sorry. This is where they struggle, is when they're a home favorite. So it was a little odd to see them struggle a week ago, because this is the game where you would have thought, okay, they roll against Auburn, but they struggle at home against Kentucky.
And you can't say that they were looking ahead to Kentucky, because in no normal universe is Georgia looking ahead to Kentucky.
Right.
And they didn't have the chance to be able to see. I think those games were on at the same time, weren't they? I can't remember, but close. I don't think.
No, the Florida game started at 11. The Kentucky-Florida game was an 11 a.m. game.
Yeah, but there was nobody on the Auburn. There was nobody on the Georgia team watching that game. They were prepping for their game. So, it's not like they were looking ahead to Kentucky. This Georgia team is not. I still have a lot of faith in this Georgia team, just because of what they've done over the last 2 years, their coaching staff and the recruiting and how much talent they have. But they haven't put it together. They haven't put it together in a single game. They've only put it together in halves. And this game will be the toughest game they played all season. Ray Davis is a monster, man, a monster. Over 200 yards rushing against Florida in the first half. I don't care where you do that. That is exemplary. And I'm very excited to watch this game. And I think I'm going to say Kentucky wins this game.
You're picking Kentucky outright?
I'm picking Kentucky straight up.
Okay. If that happens, then Kentucky's in the driver's seat, obviously, in the East. The Wildcats would move to 6-0 and 3-0, and they'd have the tiebreaker over Georgia. That would rock college football if Kentucky manages to go to Athens and get that win. What about in College Station, Russ? Bama A&M kind of feels like that's a de facto West championship, right? Or at least in the first half of the season, the way they played.
I mean, this is the best 3-game defensive stretch that Jimbo has come off of, maybe back to like the third or fourth year that he was still coaching at Florida State. The defense right now, this is the number one defense in the SEC. Texas A&M has the number one defense in the SEC right now.
I believe it. But for the game against Miami, right? I mean, Miami really handled them, but aside from that, A&M's been really good.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing exceptionally well. I will say that so is the Alabama defense. In the last 3 weeks, Alabama's defense, since the A&M game, since the Texas game, Alabama's defense has really stepped up. This is going to, for those of you who like, who kind of miss the SEC of 10, 15 years ago, I think you're going to see a little bit more of that in this game. What's sort of been lost since Milroe came back to quarterbacking is he's been really efficient. He's completing 80% of his passes against the state of Mississippi, against Ole Miss and against Mississippi State. So, I expect he'll be – I'm really glad this game is being played in Kyle Field, just like I wish the Georgia-Kentucky game was being played in Lexington, because I think the game will be closer. It'll be more interesting to watch being played at home for A&M.
Yeah.
This is an Alabama team that its defense is playing better. Milroe is playing better. I think both defenses will go head-to-head. But if that's what it's going to be, if it's going to be two teams that are similar in how they're playing right now, I like Alabama over A&M. More talent.
Russ Mitchell, College Football News on Twitter at Russ Mitchell CFB. One more before we talk LSU-Missouri. If Arkansas loses, that will be 4 straight losses. BYU, LSU, Texas A&M, they're on the road in Oxford. But, Russ, the big question is, is it just a hotty-toddy hangover in Oxford? Do you get back up for this game, which Arkansas always pushes Ole Miss?
They had 170. Arkansas had 174 yards of offense. 174 yards of offense against A&M. They had, how much did they have against LSU the week before? 500.
I don't know what the total was, but it was I think LSU and Arkansas were both right at 500 yards. Yeah.
They only had 174 yards of offense against A&M. Now, again, A&M's got the number one defense in the SEC right now, but KJ, he's going to have to do better than that against Ole Miss. Sanders led the team in rushing. He only had 34 yards rushing against A&M. He's going to have to do better than that. I think it could be a little bit of a hangover, Matt. It could also be, Arkansas's got a better defense than LSU does. So, maybe they get punched in the mouth and they get shocked that, oh, wow, this is a real defense again. I don't know. They just played Alabama. So, I mean, I think that Ole Miss has a much better offense. I don't think Arkansas's offense can keep up with Ole Miss. And so I like Ole Miss, even after getting to feast on LSU's defense. I like Ole Miss.
Ole Miss, by the way, Arkansas has won 2 of the last 3 and 6 of the last 9 in the series, including last year. They won in Fayetteville 42-27. So
their defense played better last year. Their defense played better the year before last, right? Their defense right now is not playing well. By the way, this is, other than the BYU loss, losing to LSU on the road in Death Valley, there's no shame in that. And they played right down to the wire. Losing to this Texas A&M team, that it's a good team. They didn't play as well as I thought they could have. So it just so happens they've lost 3 in a row. That's how the schedule played out. Yeah. I'm sure they're disappointed. I'm sure KJ is disappointed. But, they're going to have 4 straight losses.
And it doesn't get easier because after they go to Ole Miss this weekend, next weekend, they're at Bama. So, we all at Media Days looked at Arkansas and you're like, oh, my God, you better start 3-0 because what's coming the next 4 weeks is an avalanche, and losing that BYU game just set them up for what's happening. I mean, Russ, you kind of look and you go, man, they lose 5 in a row before they get Mississippi State at home, and then after that they got to go to Florida. They still got Auburn, and then the rivalry game against Missouri. I mean, this is a sub-500 team. They're with KJ Jefferson back as a senior. They're staring down the barrel of like a 5-7 season.
I hope they don't overreact either. I think Pittman's a great coach for them. I think he's doing a good job, and they're building. At that program, you're always going to be under the 8 ball behind the 8 ball playing in the SEC. So I hope they don't overreact.
They just gave him a new big contract as well. So financially, it's one where true. Sam's got a lot of protection, but we'll see. All right, last one. LSU at Missouri, 11 a.m. Central Time up there in Como. LSU a 5.5-point favorite on the road coming off of that debacle a week ago.
5.5 points.
You do realize, though, that the odds makers are waiting for guppies like you to go throw their money at Missouri. That's, by definition, a stinky line, and that's one where the house usually wins.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Brady Cook's been pretty wonderful right now. He's 75% completion rating, 11 touchdowns, 0 picks. Burton is every bit the superstar that they've made him out to be. He's magnificent. And in fact, I would argue that outside of LSU's receiving core, this might be the best receiving core in the SEC. Johnson can take the top off. Pete's been good. Cook's been good. They are going to eat your secondary like jambalaya, man. It's gonna be gumbo. It is gonna be home cooking in that rinky-dink stadium of theirs. I don't know, man. We talked about it in the last segment. The only thing that I would say, if you're a Missouri, if you're rooting for LSU against Missouri in this game, 35 points, 23 points, 30 points, 34, 38. Even against Vandy, the most amount of points this offense could put up was 38. Can LSU not play any defense at all and score more than 38? I don't know. I think that's what you're hoping. This is basically a replay of the Ole Miss game. You're going to turn this offense into like Ole Miss light, and they're going to score 45 points, and you're going to hope that your offense can score over 45. And I don't see that happening. Missouri.
Ole Miss scored 70 against Mercer, by the way.
I like Missouri at home in this game.
Okay. Just telling you, man.
What happened the last time LSU played in Missouri?
Oh, they lost, yeah, in the COVID year.
That's right.
Yeah.
Silly.
Yeah. And that has what to do with this?
Just that it's, LSU versus Missouri.
Okay. All right.
Hey,
Russ Mitchell on the record. Yes, sir.
Can we make a trade for? I just said we, didn't I? Can we make it? Can we make a mid-season trade with somebody for? Can you hit the portal mid-season?
No, wish you could, man. It'd be great. A little trade would be nice.
How is it? In the off season, we're going to have a whole talk about how LSU manages the portal. Because I have just given up. I have completely surrendered.
You're literally sitting in front of a framed YA Tittle jersey. Nobody thinks you are objective, okay? We all get it. It's okay.
It is. We got to do a better job of the portal because, look at Florida State, for crying out loud.
Yeah, they got money.
LSU has money.
No, they don't.
They don't have as much money as Florida State, but there's so many other wonderful things that LSU football and the state of Louisiana and Louisiana State has that Florida State doesn't have. You don't need that much money.
Yeah, you do.
Just need to use it efficiently. You need to use it efficiently. You need to know what you need and go and get those players, right? If you're competing with Florida State and you're like, I can pay you just as much or almost as much, and we've got an offense that's ready to win a national championship. Florida State couldn't say that during the offseason.
Yeah,
at the end of the year, we're going to have to literally do some serious soul searching and look at how poorly this team did in the portal setting up for this season.
I know. They did so good last year. It's a risky run. Russ Mitchell, college football news. Got Kentucky beating Georgia outright. All right. We'll look forward to having you back next week. Thank you as always, sir.
Hey, who's in first place in the picking?
You? Well, we got to see.
Oh.
Okay, Mincy was last week. How did Mincy do? 7-4.
He probably picked. Couldn't be 7-4. Had to be 7-3, right?
Do we pick 11 games, Paulie? It had to be 6-4 or 7-3. Either way, you're still in first place. So someone's going to have an undefeated weekend to beat you.
Kentucky, straight up.
All right, fair enough. All right, man, thank you. We got to run. We'll see you. That is Russ Mitchell. This is After Further Review. We'll wrap up next.
AFR.
Brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com, or download the Rouse's app. Always encourage you to do that. When you go to the Rouse's app, you'll see the curbside, pickup, and delivery options. Super easy. Tell you about it every single day. You go to the app, select whatever items you want. Your personal shopper will go do the shopping for you. You pull up in one of the curbside spots. They'll bring it out to your car. If you spend $35, that service is free, no extra charge. And if you spend $100, use the code SAINTS20, SAINTS20, and they'll give you $20 off your bill. It's at Rouse's. Man, Rouse's has been just absolutely championing local for 100 years. For literally 100 years. For the last 60 as a grocer. From Lake Charles to Orange Beach, Alabama, and points in between. It's Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's, this feels like home.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP or 2.9% for 72 months on all new 23 Ram 1500 trucks in stock. All with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
It was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time to slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Flucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Flucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Hump Day edition of AFR. Otter under the weather again, but he did send us his pick. He likes the Brewers tonight. Let me remind you, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Make it this week. Make a $5 bet on anything. If you're a new customer, $5 bet on anything. They'll give you $100 in they'll give you $200 in bonus bets instantly. So no better time than right now. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. $5 bet on anything. Instantly, they'll give you $200 in bonus bets. Also, check for great boosts and other daily specials and offers. Like right now, there's a 25% MLB wildcard boost right at the top. You just tap opt in. When you go place your bet, like for example, I just made the bet on the Brewers tonight. I got the 25% boost, so my winnings will increase by 25% if it hits. So go check it out. There's a no sweat every day bet right now on a same game parlay for MLB playoffs. Just check the tab at the top of the app, and you'll see all their great daily specials at the DraftKings Sportsbook. And download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the promo code Baton Rouge. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility, deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football. Terms. Licensed partner Golden Nugget Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-426-2537. All right, it's after further review. We are glad to have you hanging out with us here. It is a Hump Day, which means it's Wednesday, which means it's Pluckers Trivia Night. Our Hump Day shows are brought to you by Pluckers. Normally we do Pluckers in the trivia in the previous segment, but with Russ taking up those two segments now, we'll do Pluckers Trivia here at the end of the show. So, Muse?
Yeah.
3 questions for you.
Yeah.
Let's see.
It's going to be compressed, too, so I'm bound to say something just completely stupid.
Well, that and you're always high. I mean, that's kind of part of it, too.
Sure
Hey, Muse.
Yeah.
Which Saturday Night Live alum voices the character Axel the Carney in Toy Story 4?
Oh, man. I've seen Toy Story one time, and I don't remember that character at all, and I don't have the answer. Yeah.
Toy Story. You seen Toy Story 4?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, of course. It's a good movie.
You said you've seen Toy Story one time. You didn't say
Toy Story 4 one time.
Okay.
Sorry, I've seen Toy Story 4 one time. I don't know, Matt. I'll go with Will Ferrell.
No, it's Bill Hader.
I love him. He's great.
Hey, Muse.
Yeah.
Which Pixar feature length?
This is okay.
I think it was Disney trivia.
Yeah,
This might have been
sounds like
last
it.
week's questions. My bad. We'll roll with them anyway. Which Pixar feature length was the first film to be digitally transferred frame by frame and released on DVD?
Pixar? Is it Toy Story?
No.
1 minute remaining.
A Bug's Life.
Oh,
All right.
Yeah, good film.
Finally, Muse.
Yeah.
In what city did the principal photography take place for 2015's Fantastic Four film?
Chicago.
No.
Oh.
It was Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Was it really?
Dynamite job, Muse. 0 for 3. You nailed it as usual. All right, it's going to do it for us here on a Hump Day edition of AFR Pluckers Trivia every single Wednesday. Get by either Pluckers location. 7:30 Blue Bond at 8 o'clock Dickelson. Get your team together. Go test your knowledge, win Pluckers gift cards, and all that Yaz, like Yaz Flute. All right, we're getting on down the road. If you missed anything, AFR On Demand, presented by Breck Golf on the After Further YouTube channel, or go to your favorite podcast app, search After Further Review. Muse, Paulie, appreciate y'all both. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
Getting on down the road, remind you about Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawbillsTire.com. Erica is going to Houston on Saturday. Quick trip for a party there and back. A little nervous about the tires. Pressure's low in one of them. Needs an oil change, some stuff. So, bringing it to Shawbills. ShawbillsTire.com to book your service. ShawbillsTire.com to schedule service. ShawbillsTire.com to search tires based on whatever vehicle you have. You need to know what tire might best fit the specifications of your vehicle. ShawbillsTire.com. You want to chat with an associate? Easy. Go to ShawbillsTire.com. Right at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, there's a little bot down there. You tap on it. It's a little text bot. You tap on it, boom, type in the location nearest you, and you're chatting in seconds with an associate at Shawbills. Remember, when you buy tires at Shawbills, you're guaranteed the Charlie's dozen. A dozen benefits extended to you and your family whenever you buy your tires at Shawbills, where for more than 50 years, they're going to treat you like family. ShawbillsTire.com. Shawbills, where we keep you rolling.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Life in Louisiana is a song. A symphony of sound, colors, and movement. Life is here, now. For life's moments, big and small, always there. The right card, the right care.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast office products.